Yo! What is good, Sixer Nation? Welcome on in to another edition of Philly Take with RB. We're in the house. A lot of drama, but another season getting underway. It is Sixers Media Day 2023-24. A lot of questions at hand. We'll see how many answers we get. But shout out to everybody. I am happy to be here on a nice Monday morning. Happy October. Let's get it underway. We'll take a look at all the press conferences. We'll react live. We'll chop it up as we always do. Drop a like on the stream, man. Drop a like. Push this show around. Hit that subscribe button. Don't miss any of the coverage, man. We're going full-fledged. Another season underway. And it would not be any other team than the Philadelphia 76ers to go into a season 2 out of the last 3 years with a disgruntled star, a player who literally does not want to be in Philadelphia. We already have updates. Don't worry. We'll get to it. We already have updates, but man, it has been an eventful summer, eventful offseason. I'm sure every Sixers fan out there listening still has that distaste in their mouth from Game 6 and Game 7. The Sixers choke at home against the Celtics, and then they get blasted on the road. I'm sure everybody still has that image in their mind. Time is dwindling down, man. The Sixers need to figure something out. And it's been really just an odd offseason. From the moves that were made to the half-in, half-out strategy. They need to figure something out, man. They need to figure something out. But anyway, welcome on in to the show. Once again, Philly Take with RB. And man, if you've been here throughout this entire journey, throughout the ride, man, shout out to you. This is actually our 4th season that we're entering here, covering this team. Independent, man. No company backing us. No, sources, funds, whatever. Just you guys, man, and the support. So if you have been along for the journey, thank you for being here. We're taking this content to a new level this season, man. Welcome into the show. Let me know how you're feeling, man. I know we probably have a lot of familiar faces tuning back in. It's like the first day of school, right? Some people have just been completely unplugged this off season. I don't blame you. We've been here covering it, man. It's been weird. Very weird. This might be the worst off season I've ever seen. Even worse than 2018-19. But we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. Press conferences should be starting soon. We're going to get, obviously, a lot of questions about James Harden. What will he do? Will he report to training camp? Well, we already have an update. We already have an update from Woj, Shams, etc. And I want to ask you guys in the chat, man. Give me your thoughts. Do you think James Harden should show up to training camp? Not will he, but do you think he will? Or do you think he should? Excuse me. Like, if you've been here for the whole offseason, you understand the situation, right? It's really messed up from both sides. The Sixers should probably trade him, but Daryl Morey's already said he doesn't want to trade him for anything other than significant value. Then you look at James Harden, where if he doesn't come back and play on this player option that he agreed to, he essentially can be blocked from going to any other team and playing basketball after this season. So eventually, he's going to have to man up and come back and play. But we've seen James Harden try to play when he's uncomfortable and when he doesn't want to be there. And it just makes for a really ugly situation. I think Sixer fans out there are tired of these type of situations, right? From, Ben Simmons to Markelle Fultz to all these other things that have happened over the last 8 to 10 years. You're promised good results. You're promised a bright side on the end of it when you go through the process. And it's like, here you are again. Joel Embiid's window is dwindling down. And you've been so damn close. I think that's what makes this tough, man. You've been so damn close. And yet you can't get over the hump. And now, again, you're dealing with another disgruntled player. It's tough, man. It's very tough. Anyway, here's the update from Woj. She says, in what's expected to be a continued attempt to push for a trade, Philadelphia 76ers star James Harden is not in attendance for the team's media day today. Harden remains upset that the organization has not moved him to the Clippers. Now, we remember media day 2 years ago, right? Ben Simmons wasn't there. Joel Embiid literally came out and said, I am not going to sit here and baby the guy, right? He was pissed off. In this situation, I mean, as far as we know it, Joel Embiid's still cool with James Harden. The players are still cool. There's something with Daryl Morey that has caused James Harden to not want to ever play for him again. So I think the way that the questions are answered today will be very interesting. This is shaping up to be a very, very interesting media day. Because Daryl Morey can sit there and say one thing, right? We're going to hear a lot of questions at Daryl Morey. We're going to hear a lot of questions at Nick Nurse. And then we're going to hear questions for Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey. So what, are the players going to back James Harden? Are the front office guys not going to back him? What's going to happen? This is setting up to be a very, very spicy live stream. And I'm glad that we're here covering it. Get ready, man. Cook up your popcorn. I know it's early in the morning, but let's get it, man. Little update on that. Shams Charania says for the second time in 3 years, a Sixers star guard is missing to start training camp. Ben Simmons and now James Harden. This is where the Sixers are at, man. And I saw another update from Woj. He says James Harden could be subject to a fine for missing media day. The Sixers leave for Colorado later today for training camp. The Sixers and the Clippers have talked recently, but there does not appear to be any traction on a trade, sources said. And yeah, if you're not familiar with the timeline, they go to training camp tomorrow. And a lot of coaches, take their teams away elsewhere to get away from the distractions. Remember last year, Doc Rivers took the team down to South Carolina for training camp, and Nick Nurse decided to take them cross country to Colorado. So it's going to be a long flight, and it seems like James Harden is not going to be there. So this thing's going to be drawn out. But now there's more pressure on a trade because Damian Lillard gets moved to the Bucks. That was the other big stone of this offseason. That domino falls. So Damian Lillard's off the board. And then yesterday, you let Drew Holiday slip away. Again, the Sixers probably couldn't do anything, but Drew Holiday ends up getting, traded to the Celtics. They got better. The Bucks got better. And now the Sixers are just sitting here. What do? They've been preaching this half in, half out strategy. It's just not going to work. They have to make a decision. So we're going to go over and we're going to start the media day. Shout out to iShowKey with a $2 super chat. It says first day of school is crazy. That's what it feels like, man. All the people like to come back in and get amped up and get ready. So we're going to go react to some of these media day press conferences. Shout out to everyone. Appreciate the support, man. Shout out to the members.
Championship.
All right.
Contention.
We are up here. Let's see what they have to say. So we're going to start from the beginning, and we're going to see what they have to say. Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse at the podium first. Let's get it going, man.
In this building, Coach Nurse.
Let's see what Daryl Morey has to say.
We're really, there's a lot of optimism and excitement about the season here. In this building, Coach Nurse will go into what he's...
Why is he out of breath?
Seen this offseason in his early days as coach, that also makes him excited. We start with...
They got to fix their mic volumes.
We have one of the great up-and-coming players in Tyrese Maxey.
Can you guys hear that?
In this league, we've got winning players in Tobias and Melton. We've got additions we love in Pat Beverley and Kelly Oubre and Mo Bamba. We've got young, great players like Paul Reed. We come in here every day and feel like we're going to show the league that this is a team that can win. I understand there's a lot of skepticism out there.
Yeah?
Right now. And I would say that in years where there's actually optimism, you go back a year from now and say everyone had a lot of optimism, but people were saying, hey, a lot of optimism, but let's see you show it. Show it in the regular season.
What is he talking about?
Obviously, we came up short, but in a year where there's a lot of skepticism, I think I would ask the same thing. Let us show you. Let us show you in the regular season. Let us show you in the playoffs. So I think I would ask for that. I love the Sixers fans. I know they're going to be there. They're going to be passionate. And I left off one big reason for optimism last, so he could talk as Coach Nurse. I love what he's going to bring. Our players are excited to work with him. They've already had a chance in the voluntary workouts this offseason, and I'll let Coach Nurse talk about.
We're already a little behind, so I'm going to take my time with this and pace it. What the heck is Daryl Morey talking about right here? That is the exact way I did not want to start this press conference. I knew they would try to avoid questions, but to come in here and literally say a bunch of nothing, right? Daryl Morey, you're a culprit of this, man. All off season, messing around, trolling, crumble cookies. Come on, man. And it sounds like you just ran a damn triathlon. What are you doing, man?
What he's seeing.
Thanks, Daryl. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Welcome to a new season. Since the last time I was in front of you, we've had a good summer, and I would say a couple things. One is Daryl alluded to some of the voluntary workouts and some of just the skill development, player development, some of the runs in LA, some of the last couple weeks of voluntary workouts here. It's been a 10 out of 10 from a work rate effort. I think the guys have really worked hard, and the spirit that they've brought to the gym has also been as really as high as it can be. So I've had a really enjoyable start here to the summer, and a positive one. I think Daryl touched on a bunch of things. I think there's a lot of talent. There's some depth we've added. I think that what I'm looking forward to tomorrow hitting the floor is we got a lot of battles. We got a lot of wing players that are going to have to fight it out to see who's going to, first of all, make the team, second of all, make the rotation, possibly make the starting lineup, whatever it is. And I think as a coach that you want that. Certainly got to know this team very well, as I've said before, from all the competitions we've had and playing you guys. And just a lot of respect for how good the team is. Part of the reason that I'm fortunate enough to be here in front of you today is it's a good team that hopefully we can, work.
Nick, I appreciate you and everything, man, and I get it. You're in a tough situation coming into this team as a head coach, but let's be honest, right? Nobody cares about this stuff. We want to hear about what's going to go on with James Harden. Daryl, you better be ready to answer better than that first question, man. I Show Keith, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate the support.
Work on some things, do things, see some things that I think that can make them even better. And
where's Howard Eskin, man?
But I'm excited to be here and excited to get to Colorado tonight and get things started
Guys,
tomorrow.
drop a like on the stream, man.
I wanted to address James Harden.
Thank you.
Not here today. He continues to seek a trade, and we're working with his representation to resolve that in the best way for the 76ers and hopefully all parties. So with that, we'll turn it to questions.
Gina Mizell from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Daryl, just to expand on your comments about James, just for both of you guys, just what is kind of the path forward, both on the court with camp and then just, as you do continue to try to seek the proper trade?
Yeah, I think in terms of a trade, I will continue to work on those fronts. And, if he's here, then Coach will work with him on the court. So, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, Gina, for me, it's obviously we've kind of got plan A, plan B, right? We've got to get the team ready regardless. We're expecting him to show up. He shows up, we go. If he doesn't, we go, right? There's two ways to look at it, and we proceed and we really get to work in building our foundation of what we want to do, getting all our principles in, all the things that we want to do, and play the style of play we want to play, regardless.
It went all the way down to the trade deadline. Do you anticipate that this is something that you want to hurry up and get over with? As far as getting a resolution, especially where you see, Boston and Milwaukee making moves.
Good question.
Yeah, I think we will, I think I said this earlier in the summer. I think it stays the same. We'll either move James for a player of a caliber that puts us, helps our championship contention, or for draft picks and things like that will allow us to, in short order, go get a player like that. Short of that, it will continue as long as that takes.
He said, "You don't have anything on Ben Simmons, James." He said, "I'm ready to go as long as it takes." There you go. Double down right there. He either wants a star player in return or draft picks to go get a star player. I told you this all summer, man. Daryl Morey is not trading for Terrence Mann and Robert Covington. No. See, if Daryl Morey wanted to really make his authority felt right now, he would stand there and he would say, James Harden can be blocked by the Sixers from going to any other team after this year. If he doesn't come back, he's not playing. That's what he should say. Put your foot down, Daryl. Not this, we'll play it out. We'll see how long it goes and we'll sit there. No. You want to establish authority. You want to make the Sixers actually respected. Put something down. Put your foot down and make something happen, dude. Not, we're going to work with his agency to try to fix this. Nah, that's a bunch of crap. We all know that this is going nowhere. Sixer fans are tired. And the fact that he said Sixer fans are still going to be bought in and be happy. Nah, everybody's tired of this, man. People are tired of this crap. You have an excellent head coach right there in Nick Nurse who's ready to take these boys to another level, and they have to deal with drama. They need to let me into media day. Honestly. Why has nobody asked, what did you lie about, Daryl? That should be the first question.
We're gonna, treat James like every other player on the roster, as is required by the CBA. So.
Daryl, Austin Krell, 97.3 ESPN over here.
Shout out to Austin.
You guys spent the third fewest dollars of all teams to make it to the second round of the playoffs this year or beyond. There were no significant trades made in the offseason. How do you justify that to an MVP caliber player?
Thank you.
Have in Joel Embiid?
Yeah, because I think we have a great up-and-coming player in Maxey. We have a great roster. Obviously, Joel's a very smart player. Those teams that added players also had to subtract significant players.
Oh, my gosh.
Look, I mean, things need to play out. We feel strongly we have a winning team. We have a team that can win,
my gosh.
And make a lot of noise in the playoffs.
Oh, my gosh.
We need to prove that, but teams emerge. You go into last season and say a Miami and a Denver, they were not even in the top 3 of teams that thought could make the finals. So, look, we have a lot of questions to answer. Obviously, the James is the big one.
Yeah, we do.
Coach talked about battles at different positions. But we feel like we have the pieces. I didn't understand your spending point. We're near the top of the league in spending overall, so quite a bit into the tax, and so I don't actually understand your spending point.
The offseason, free agency moves this offseason in terms of.
You signed up 4 centers.
I'm just saying, overall in the league, we're spending near the top. Josh and David and both Davids, David Blisser, David Adelman, give us all the resources, and we're spending near the top of the league. That's not an issue.
And has Joel signaled that he is on board with the situation with James in terms of continuing forward?
Look, you can ask Joel that today. I spoke to Joel yesterday. Joel loves this team, loves this city, and he's committed to winning a championship here. Look, I don't take the responsibility lightly, though. That myself, Elton, all the front office, we have to show all the time that we're putting the team in a great situation to win, and that's our job. So even though obviously Joel loves this city and is looking forward to winning a title for this city, I know my job is to continue to improve the team and show all the players that this is a team where we can win.
Hey, Daryl, over here. So you mentioned Joel, and to follow up on what Austin asked, right after the Celtics made the Drew move yesterday, and I'm sorry to be reading tea leaves with tweets, but he sends out, "This offseason was fun, laughing my ass off." What did you take that to mean?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
you like
that's
the
a better
tweet.
question for Joel. I mean, obviously he has fun with Twitter, just like all of us do. So I think you guys will get a chance to ask him where he's at. All I know is in our private conversation and public conversations that, we know he's been a great leader for this team and someone who's putting in the work. Coach Nurse and myself, during voluntary workouts, he's putting a lot. He had his wedding, but except for his wedding and his honeymoon, he's been in the gym adding to his game and is excited for the season.
Is it helpful for your star player to kind of be sending public signals that he's not thrilled with what's going on?
I think players need to have their own personality. I think Joel's had that personality since he's been in the league.
You're not
I have my
answering the
personality
question.
that some people like, some people hate. Coach Nurse, like all players have to have their own personality, and I think he's always been someone who is vocal in different ways, and we.
You're starting to piss me off, Daryl. You're starting to piss me
Daryl,
off.
Do you have when did you find out James wasn't going to be here today?
So we've had conversations with his representation. I don't think they knew their plan. So look, if he's here, coach is going to coach him. If he's not here, we'll handle that.
And is there any indication as to when, have you communicated to them? Is there like a certain grace period where, like, hey, at some point you're expected to be here? Has there been any communication about when this might
Put
change?
your foot
'Cause,
down.
If there isn't a trade, I'm sure you expect him to be here playing at some point. So is there any timeline in terms of that?
No, we communicate. He's on the roster. We're excited for him to help us if he chooses that. And we've told him we expect him to be here, and we're handling it as such.
And then, Nick, what, especially with James not around.
I'm sorry, I got to stop it for a second. I mean, this is I mean, I understand he's kind of strapped in with what he can say, but this is not going, again, this is not going in either direction. This is just like the entire past 4 months. They asked Daryl Morey a question, and he's like, well, James is technically on the roster, so I hope that he's here, and if he is, he can help us, but if not, no, establish your authority here, man. Where's the confident Daryl Morey? Right? You kind of alluded to it earlier and said you're not trading him other than for a star. What about the people that want this team to win now? Right? Do they know that the window is closing? The window is closing, man. And they're just sitting here like, oh, it's just a whole other season, and we'll see what happens. They need to say, here's the deadline, James. Show up or you're not playing again. This Sixers organization has just been ran an incorrect way for a long time, and it continues to carry over, man.
What do you think you can unlock from Tyrese Maxey beyond what we've seen from him in terms of the development he's made over the first couple of years of his career?
Yeah, I mean, I alluded to you kind of got to have a vision, two visions going here as things go. But I think the first thing is Tyrese gets the ball in his hands a lot more, right? So that just automatically is going to give him opportunities for pace. That's going to give him opportunities for offensive creation, both for himself and for his teammates. It's going to give him just experience of reading defenses. He'll have to go through a learning curve with that, because he'll see different schemes, different defenses, different matchups, all those things that'll look different to him than they did a year ago.
I love listening to him talk ball, man.
The short answer is he's just going to get more chances. Right?
Thank you.
Have the ball more. Yeah.
A coach willing to give Tyrese Maxey more touches.
Associated Press. Just to be clear, he has not told you he's not coming to training camp yet, or it's unclear to you, or you expect him? What's the official status for tomorrow?
He's not here today, and we expect him to participate in everything like every other player.
Daryl Morey just said that the Sixers expect James Harden to participate in everything. In everything. That means training camp tomorrow in Colorado. You really think that, Daryl? Come on, we can see it lying through your teeth, man. We know James Harden's not showing up tomorrow, especially after today. Come on, man.
What to you? I mean, you've obviously had a long relationship with him. it's deteriorated, no doubt. I mean, what's it like for you personally and professionally when someone you've dealt with this long has kind of put you on blast, put the organization on blast?
Yeah, I would say it was hard. I mean, I think there are many people who've worked with him for some time, but I've been, right there with anyone else. And look, I think he's a heck of a basketball player. I like him as a person.
So what happened?
It was hard, I think, that he felt like that was the right course of action for him at that point. What else can I say? I think he's a tremendous player that will help us if he chooses to be here. And right now that's not where he wants to be.
Jesus.
Hey, Daryl, Nick, Dave Uram from KYW News Radio. This is for both of you. I guess you guys consider yourselves championship contenders right now. And as you mentioned when you start, there's a lot of, I guess, a skepticism. Why are you guys still championship contenders?
Good question.
I mean, I'll just say you have the MVP of the league. You don't need to take my word for it. We're third right now. In the East, one of the top teams in the league that has a chance to win. I understand there's skepticism. I understand there's a lot of things to figure out. But
You think?
Like I said before,
think?
every year is like hey, you guys look good, but let's prove it in the playoffs.
They don't ever prove it.
For me to work on the front office, in the front office, and get the players here that will help us win. And
who did you get?
Nurse time to figure out how to put together a championship rotation and squad. And I think he's shown that he can do that. And I think, we've shown that we can have a team that's right there. Obviously, I haven't done it, but we've been right there, and we'll continue to be right there. And we feel like we've got a very good chance. But I understand the skepticism at this point. So.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't really look at it any other way. Right? I get up trying to figure out how to get to the path to get the title. And I know it's a very good team because I've coached against them a lot.
I feel bad for Nick Nurse, man.
I like some of the additions we've made. There's some depth there. Let's see what happens on the court.
Oh, my gosh. I feel bad for Nick, man.
The Athletic.
David, the doubleheader.
I know.
The Commander.
Love it too
Sixer
much.
Doubleheader.
Love it too much. What a weekend.
Yeah.
I know there is always pressure to win. Pressure's always coming every day that you're in this job. I just wonder if the last week with the moves at Milwaukee and Boston.
Thank you.
Put additional external and internal pressure on you to get this result.
I don't think there can ever be more. I mean, you go into every season with championship aspirations. And
No.
that's
Answer the
been
question.
My whole career, really, from Houston to now the Sixers. So, in terms of those guys making moves again, I would say, obviously they added some good players, but they lost good players. So let's.
Daryl, there's no way this Sixers team can beat them in a series, man. Stop avoiding the question. They got significantly better, and you signed centers and Kelly Oubre Jr. It's as simple as that, man. This guy has been trolling the entire offseason. Trolling. And this is there's no confidence in what they're saying right now. I feel bad for Nick. He's up there just getting hit with questions. It's like, I didn't expect this. I'm here just to coach. Nick Nurse turned down more money from other teams to come to Philly. And he has to deal with this, man. Crazy.
See it on the court. I mean, I think, Coach Nurse and his great staff he's assembled probably immediately is like, hey, they added this, that's a strength, but okay, here's a weakness. Maybe we can attack that. So, let's settle it on the court, I guess is what I would say.
And what are your options as an organization if this goes into the regular season in terms of where you can put James, which list you can put him on, the things that you may be able to do if he's...
I couldn't hear you quite.
Oh, I'm sorry. What are your options as an organization if this goes into the regular season and James isn't here? And what lists could you put him on? What status would you be able to put him on if he's not playing when the season starts?
Oh, I don't think there's any concept like that in the NBA. So he's just, he chose to be here. And so he's on our roster, and if he's here, then great. And if he's not, then we'll deal with it like any player that's not here.
Hi, Nick. Hi, Daryl. Just given the constant talks with James's representation.
GSC, they didn't let S get in here. He probably would have went at Daryl Morey, man. He is fed up with Daryl Morey. They probably denied him access to the facility today.
And obviously the public attack on your character. What is your interpretation in terms of how the relationship deteriorated?
Great question.
Well, I don't think I have to interpret it. I mean, I think, he said what he meant, and I think that was well reported on. And obviously attacks, I haven't responded to that because I think it falls flat on its face. I have 20 years of working in the league, always followed through on everything. Every
say it with your
knows
chest.
that. Everyone in the league knows that you can't operate in this job without that. So, privately, I've appreciated like all the key people in the league reaching out to me and knowing, obviously that's not true, but it's yeah. So like I said before, obviously it was disappointing that he chose to handle it in that way.
Dude.
And without showing your hand, in these trade talks, what are you hoping to get in return?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, it's going to sound a little vague, but I don't like to get too specific because I think it closes windows on opportunity. Again, it's working with Coach Nurse. What are either a player that we think can help us in a significant way, or draft pick type things that we can then go turn into something that will help us in the short run. One of those two things.
So there's no plan, really. That's what I'm getting from this.
Aside from the personal acrimony, when James called you a liar, what was he referring to?
Thank you.
In that reference, like, what do you think he is talking about when he says that?
Now answer the damn question.
Yeah, again, I think he said what that was, and then that was reported on. So I don't think I need to go into that.
I know you guys spoke to one another, not to his representation, but you and him.
Sure. I mean, as me personally, earlier in the summer, where he requested that we work through his representation.
Matt Murphy, Sixers.com. Coach, there's some signage around the facility that says "expect to win." What goes into that mindset, and why was it important for you to display at the facility?
Yeah, it's just it's kind of been with me as something I've done with. Probably since I entered professional coaching way back 30 some years ago. And it's just, and again, I think a lot of my training and background has put me in I don't know, funky situations where guys are in, guys are out, guys are up, guys are down, guys are moving around a lot, minor league situations, and it kind of trains you to get that mindset of, okay, well, the game's on here. There's got to be a way.
I just can't. I'm sitting here trying to process this. And again, we're live reacting in real time. If you guys are in the chat, man, drop a like. We got a ton of people in here. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get this to like 300 likes. I'm trying to sit here, process this. Daryl Morey is always the guy who goes on the radio and he goes on interviews and he says everything and he opens up, right? We've commended him for being that type of GM. He's sitting up here dodging every single question. Oh, that was already reported on, so I'm not going to answer it. The media's done their job here today. They showed up. They gave effort today. They're drilling him. What did you lie about? What was the issue? What do you think's going to happen with James? Dodge, dodge, dodge. Come on, Daryl. You got to answer something here.
We can put a game plan together, and there's got to be a way we can play hard enough, and there's got to be a way we can figure out to win. That kind of wraps it up in a nutshell. Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
See you soon.
Thanks.
All right, so that is the press conference. We'll get to Joel Embiid shortly, probably. I want to hear what Joel has to say. It'll be interesting to hear from the players now and see kind of, whether they agree. Because, I mean, a lot of the questions, Daryl Morey said, ask Joel Embiid. Ask him yourself. So that, in my opinion, that did not go that well. It was a lot of avoiding, similar to a couple years ago. We all know what's going on. Just answer the question. and talk about a solution. See, the issue I have, and it's the same issue that I've had all summer, either go all in or go all out. Go all in or go all out, right? You're sitting there saying, oh, I understand why there's pessimism among the fan base. But then he says, we have guys that can win, and we can still win now. And then he says, oh, well, we're third in the East, and you just got to let teams emerge and see how they shape up. And you got to give us a chance. Daryl, we're tired of chances. It's been 10 years of disappointment. You promise all this stuff, all these things, and nothing ever culminates. People are tired of that. They just had a golden opportunity. Game 6, a couple minutes left in the game, and you couldn't finish it off. So how did the Sixers have a winning team? He said he went out there and got pieces that made this team better, that made this team a winning team, and they have a winning mindset. I think Nick Nurse will help with that for sure. I mean, even his question about Tyrese Maxey, it's common sense sometimes. He said Tyrese Maxey needs to get more touches. Yeah, I agree. We've all been saying that for a year and a half. But he avoided many of the questions. And people are frustrated again. So this sounds like it's going to be another long haul. Maybe it'll stick out to the trade deadline. Who knows? We are in for it, ladies and gentlemen. Give me your ratings in the chat right now. 1 to 10. 10 being that was an amazing press conference from Daryl and Nick. 1 being that was an awful press conference. I want to hear your ratings and your thoughts in the chat. Give me your thoughts. We'll get to some of the comments here in just a second. And again, appreciate everybody being in here. Drop a like on the stream. Let's see. We got Tim in the chat who says we learned absolutely nothing new. I agree with that. I feel like we learned absolutely nothing from that press conference other than Nick Nurse wanting to give Tyrese Maxey a higher volume of touches. We got a -1, -9, -10,000. Nurse 8 out of 10. Morey -7 out of 10. Jerry, man, what's up, man? Shout out to the channel members. If you guys want to join memberships, click the link pinned in the chat. Support the show. We're taking this content to another level this season. Thank you all for being here. King Kane says 4. Nick, a 6. Daryl with a 1. Secret Underdog, what's up, my guy? Says 2 because of Nick Nurse. If it was just Daryl, it would be in the negatives. G-Rob says 5. MD says 1. Benji says the Sixers need to trade Tobias for Brogdon ASAP. Well, that's not happening. Brogdon's going to try to warrant, probably a first-round pick, I would assume, at least. The Sixers can barely even give up a first-round pick. That's why they weren't getting Drew Holiday. I'm just mad that they let Holiday go to the Celtics. That's the worst part. Pete, what's up? Says going to be a long season. It looks like we're going with Reed and Springer with big roles. I like it. Both are dogs. Look, Nick Nurse is going to get the best out of some of this young talent. There's no doubt about that. But the frustrating part is when it comes down to, okay, you have championship expectations and you can't get over the hump. And again, there's just no clear solution. I did not like how Daryl Morey answered the questions about James Harden saying, oh, well, we'll see what happens. No, take charge, man. You can literally block this guy from playing basketball again. Take charge. Say, no, he's got to come back by this date. They asked him what the deadline is. He says, well, if he's here, he's here. No. Right now, Tyrese Maxey's looking like the bright spot in terms of what they've been talking about. Joel's got to be fed up. And they even asked Daryl about that. About Joel tweeting yesterday. By the way, Daryl Morey liked the tweet when Joel Embiid said, This offseason has been fun. Daryl Morey actually liked it. He loves trolling, man. And he said every player should have a personality. Okay, that's wonderful, but what about the actual meaning behind the message? If Joel Embiid is fed up, what are you going to do about that? It is frustrating, man. All right, we got Joel Embiid on, and we're going to get this going here. Let's see what Joel Embiid has to say about everything.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
How you doing?
As training camp gets set on to go, get ready tomorrow.
Is that a Phillies hat? Shout out to Joel, man. Yeah, it says Red October. Let's go. Go Phils, man.
To James, have you kind of got an idea of what he wants to do this week? I know you guys still kind of keep in contact.
No, I think, it's been unfortunate, what has been going on, but the goal is, to be together and to try to win a championship. As far as myself, that's all I'm focused on. I just want to win, whatever it takes, and whatever, puts us in that position as an organization and as myself, that's all I care about.
Hi, Joe. This offseason was fun. LMAO, what did you mean?
I thought it was fun. Just saying the interaction around the league, guys getting traded.
You're a damn liar, Joe.
Right. Teams
You're a damn liar.
Better, and better, making it tougher for every other team. I thought it was fun, just looking at the back and forth, between fans. You got, Miami fans that are mad, and you got Milwaukee fans that are happy, and now you got Boston fans that are happy. So,
what about Sixer fans?
That's what I saw, and I thought it was just fun, just seeing, whatever that was going on the personal level. Getting married was cool. It was fun. Spending time with my family was fun. So
such a damn liar.
It was a 8+ summer. We had a lot of.
We know what you meant. We know what you meant.
Did that after the Celtics had gotten Drew Holiday, like not long after that. And
Exactly.
after the Bucks had acquired
Exactly.
those moves and the improvements that those teams made had nothing to do with what you were saying in that post.
I just said it did.
In terms of those teams surpassing your team.
Who said that surpassed us? We still got to go out there and, compete. You can do whatever you want on, off the court, but you still got to go out there and put the ball in the hoop. I believe that, any team that I'm on, we always going to have a chance. You just need to be a little bit lucky. You just need to stay healthy, be healthy and stay healthy. And, as a team, and just come together. And we've never had, consistency. Every summer it's been, changes here and there. So I feel like at some point, if you want to win, you need to have that consistency. And I think that's the next step for us. And you see all the other teams. Denver just won a championship. They've been together for, so many years. Golden State, they've been doing it for a long time. So you need to be consistent. So to me, that's, like I said, that's the only thing that I'm focused on. And I think for us to win, that's what it's going to take. Me to be dominant and be myself. And, everybody just following along.
Let's go, Kyle and Gina.
Joe, to that point, historically you've always said, my job is to play. I leave the front office stuff to the front office people. But when you see or hear Giannis, pretty publicly say, put pressure on Milwaukee, and then they go and get Dame Lillard, is there a moment of doubt for you in the sense of, maybe I do need to speak up more, maybe I do need to start getting more involved with things beyond what happens on the floor?
It's tricky. I think he could go both ways. I think I'm pretty smart, but most of the time too, you can have guys wanting one thing and it might not be good for the team. So that's why these guys, they get paid to make those decisions. So
Come
that's
on,
why
Joe.
I leave it up to them. And
Joe, you're a
if they
star,
want,
man.
My opinion, maybe I give it, but I trust it, and just go out and still try to make it happen. And like I say, any team that I'm on, I'm still gonna believe that I have a chance to win, no matter who's on the roster. And we got a lot of great players. I'm happy with what we have. It's all about. I know, like I said, just need to be a little lucky. Every single year of my career, being hurt in the playoffs at some point. I just need that little bit of luck, and we need it as an organization. And I think we're looking up to someone like Tyrese to take that next step. Hopefully the situation with James get resolved. If he's here, we love him, and we want him to be with us. And I think we have a better team with him on the floor. So, and I think he knows it too. So hopefully that get resolved. And if that doesn't change anything, it doesn't change the goal. It doesn't change anything. The goal is still to go out there and try to win a championship, whatever it takes.
To that point with James, compared to what happened with Ben, where you guys said the right things, but obviously there were issues between teammates. This time around, it does seem like at least you guys publicly have supported James and said, we'll welcome you back. And so, what is that process like? Like, how often are you talking with James and extending that olive branch to him, basically?
I think we said the same thing the last time this happened too. If I remember correctly, there were so many times where we were just like, if he were to come back, we're happy to have him, because to me, the way I look at it, I keep mentioning it, is all about winning. And, whatever that gives us the best, possibility to win a championship, I'm going to take it. So, just like the last time this happened, when he was on the team, he gave us a better opportunity to win a championship, and that's why I was fine with it. Just like this situation, I'm okay with that. So hopefully, but I leave it up to those guys to resolve it, and to see how that's gonna work out. But that's what I believe in.
Gina and then Jared.
This is sad, man.
To expand on Kyle's question, I know being in this type of situation with James, kind of the second time in 3 years, is not ideal, but are there things that you learned from that situation as far as how to navigate it personally, how to navigate it as a team, that you feel like can be helpful, just kind of going through a similar situation again?
I think it's a little different. I think the last time this happened, there was a lot of stuff, in the media about, that were kind of, whether it was blaming me and others on the team. And so I think at
Now
that time
we're blaming
I was
our
a
front
little
office.
defensive. But, this time around, it just seemed like, it's just maybe it was a misunderstanding between both sides. But I can only control what I can control, and that's to go out there and try to play with what we have, and trying to be a leader and bring these guys along, and compete every night and try to win.
I just want to say, first off, I commend Joel for keeping it together again, reigning MVP, star in this league. The thing I disagree with, in terms of Joel Embiid is, no, like, enough of the I only control what I control. Giannis Antetokounmpo, literally 5 days ago, went out there. This guy's won a championship with a roster, with a front office that's put a damn good team around him. And he sat up there and said, if you don't go out and get me more help, I might not even re-sign. So, no, excuse me if I'm tired of the I can only control what I can control. Joel, this city loves you, man. They want you to freaking win. You're in your prime, man. You're going to be 30 years old. This organization is not doing anything to help you. You need to speak up and say, you know what? No, I'm tired of this. I'm going through another situation, even though it's not your fault, where you have to deal with your co-star being pissed off. being pissed off. Man, this is tough, man.
I guess for you on the floor, I know every offseason you're always working on expanding your game, different parts of your game. What were kind of your focuses this offseason, especially now that you're going to be playing for a new coach in Nick Nurse?
I didn't walk out at all this summer.
Hey, Joel. So you made the reference a couple times that it's
Wait,
all
what did he
about
say?
winning.
I'm sorry, we got to go back real quick. What did he say?
In Nick Nurse focuses this offseason, especially now that you're going to be playing for a new coach in Nick Nurse?
I didn't walk out at all this summer.
Oh, I get it. He's trying to make a joke about last year.
So
I think
you made the reference a couple times that it's all about winning. You also talked about how this is not the first time you've been through it. So I think people are obviously wondering if you are ever going to grow tired of these type of circumstances and what your level of commitment to the Sixers will be long term.
I mentioned it. I said it's all about consistency. If every year is going to be the same thing, then that doesn't, put you, or that doesn't put you closer to, winning a championship. So that gets frustrating. But I also believe that no matter, like I said, it doesn't matter who's on the team. I'm always going to believe that I have a chance to win. So it's all up to me, really, to just go out there and try to do whatever it takes. And, I'm here in Philly. I love Philly. I've been here my whole career. It's all about winning a championship. Mostly, really, honestly, if I gotta be honest, if we were to win a championship, it'd be for the city and the fans because they deserve it. Going through the process years and the disappointments. I don't think anybody wants to go back to that era of basketball where you just knew you had no shot of winning.
Well, that's where you're heading, man.
You
don't fix it.
Bunch of good players on the basketball team. Anything can happen. Tyrese, I think he's ready to take another step. Tobias, I expect him to be great, like he's always been. Contract year. James, contract year. If he is to show up, and we got a bunch of other guys. We added some, new guys. Kelly, I think he's gonna help us a lot, and there's, so many other guys. So, just trying to focus on, taking it day by day and trying to figure it out, how to win as a team with a new coaching staff. We don't know how long that's going to take for everybody to gel in the new system, but it's exciting going out there trying to figure it out. Then how to get together and win.
That said, though, Daryl Morey has a track record of digging his heels in. So there's not only the potential, we have the history that you could be without half the season of the guy who's expected to be your wingman and then not even have a replacement for him.
Oh, this is sad, man.
How do you manage that?
James is a really good player. We love him on the team. If he's here, great. We love to have him. If he's not, we still got a job to do.
This is
when
so
you play
sickening.
in Philly,
This is like Ben Simmons all over.
Team. If they believe that you have a chance to win a championship, no matter what's going on outside of here, that's the goal. That's the standard. You gotta go for it. Every single year of my career, at least for the next, how old am I? 29. For the next, 8 years, I believe that we should go after it every single year to try to win a championship. There should never be any lost season. So, and I hope they understand that, and I think they understand that. So,
do they?
Like I
do
said,
they
the
understand
goal is
that?
to win a championship, and every single year we should always do whatever it takes to put us in that situation.
Well, Joel, congrats on your summer personally.
Thank you.
You Nick was up here before talking about a plan A to plan B if James shows up and if James doesn't. As the leader of the team, how do you kind of help navigate this team through this uncertainty, at least until you have some idea whether James is going to be around or not, in terms of trying to prepare for the season while not knowing exactly what your group is going to look like?
I think obviously it's good to have a bunch of plans, but if you have a system in place, I think that's the best way to go. And we've dealt with it before when we were in that situation. I had to be more of a playmaker, pushing the ball up the floor, and more of a playmaker and all that. And with James, I had to be more of a scorer and not a playmaker. So to me, what I'm looking forward to is just with or without him, is to just be myself, do both. Because when I get stuck into just being a scorer, I feel like that's not the best version of myself. I like sharing the ball. I like when the ball moves. I don't like when we're static. And I think the best way to win, as you've seen the last couple of years, the teams that I've won or that I've gotten there, that move the ball. Nothing is static. So that's how we should play. So I'm sure that plan, those two plans, plan A or plan B, I'm sure they're going to include, that. And that's going to be the main thing, just from, talking to them. And, that's what gets me excited, new coach, trying to learn a new system. Hopefully there's no growing pains, but, there can be some, so just got to be ready for it and, not give up and keep, working hard.
You've had a bit of a colorful history with Nick over the past few years, different times going back and forth in the media. What has your relationship been like with him over the past couple months? You've got a chance to know him, and as you mentioned, what are some of the things you're excited about he can do to put you in different positions to succeed on the court?
Thank you, man. He's been fun going against him. Just the schemes, offensively and defensively. Obviously, he always threw everything at me. So it was fun playing. I love playing against him because you never knew what to do. Sometimes, every 3 guys were coming at you. Sometimes 2 guys were coming at you. So, and sometimes he was on the dribble. So he just has you guessing all the time. And just from talking to him, because I asked him a bunch of those questions, like what was going through your mind when you were coming up with all those schemes, and he kind of gave me the insight of what he was thinking, and that also, just from those conversations, that made me better, because he kind of made me understand now, like, if we figured, at least early in my career, that if I didn't touch the ball, from the start of the game, that I would get frustrated. And obviously, over the last 3 years, it's gotten better, and I'm not the same anymore. So, just from that, like, I learned, and that's something that I'm sure a lot of other coaches do. So, just from those conversations, I've already learned a lot, just trying to see, and that also gets me excited, just seeing, what he can come up with, and we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Joe, real quick, 2 quick questions. One, given what happened over the summer, if USA Basketball asks you, will you play in the Paris Olympics?
Okay.
If USA Basketball asks you, will you play in the Paris Olympics?
Man, I have 3 options. My goal is to play in the Olympics. I love, all 3 options. Cameroon is, I'm born there, I'm from there, and I always want to represent my country. But the goal is also to play in the Olympics, and if we had a chance, or if we were qualified for the Olympics, that would be an easy decision, but that's still up in the air. And I really do want to play in the Olympics. And then, the U.S., obviously they've been struggling the last couple of years, trying to get back on the top. And you also got France that's, up and coming. I'm just thankful that I'm able to be in that situation. And it is a tough choice, but I'm probably gonna make it. Probably gonna make that decision in the next few days. So we'll see.
Last one. The NBA tightened the playing guidelines this year, toughened the game amount, game requirements this year, load management. Do you feel that you can play 70-plus games this year? And do you think it's fair that the NBA is making you guys play more?
I'll speak for myself. I don't never low manage. I want to play every game. If I'm not playing, it probably means that something is not right, or that they don't think something is right. So as far as myself, I always want to play, and that's always the goal. You only got such a short amount of time to take advantage of this and really enjoy. So, getting up there, at 29 years old, I got about 10 more years left. So maybe more, we'll see, or maybe less. But you want to enjoy it as much as possible. You want to play as many games as possible. So my goal is to play. And if I'm not on the floor to start a game, that means there's something wrong. I can't hear you. Where's your mic?
All right, so that was Joel Embiid's press conference. I'm not going to give too many thoughts on it, but you know how I feel at this point. Again, avoiding a lot of the questions. I mean, Joel kind of answered it more directly, I guess, than Daryl Morey, even though Joel is not as involved. And, I know there's probably people out there listening in. By the way, we got 800 people in the chat. Not even 200 likes. Come on, you guys are slacking. Drop a like on this stream. We're competing right now with the Sixers page, man. If you guys want to watch the full press conferences in real time, go to the Sixers channel. They are all coming from there. We're here to just give analysis, commentary, etc., and react. But yeah, drop a like on the stream, man. The tone of this is just sad. It feels like the same thing every year. And for the people out there listening in and saying, oh, well, what do you expect them to say? This is negative. I get it. But this is frustrating, all right, because the diehard Sixer fans out there that have been watching this same thing happen every single year, right? I tried to give this team a chance the last 4 years, right? I've believed in them going into the playoffs and this and that, but I mean, how many times does it have to smack you in the face to see what's going on here? This is the same story. And if they had come out today with an assertive plan and said, we're demanding James come back by now, right? This is our plan. We're going to do our thing. And, if not, we're going to do what we can to make this team a championship contender. I'd say, okay, at least they have a vision, right? The whole offseason, there's no vision. There's no plan. What is the plan? It sounds like they're just going with the flow. Okay, we'll see what happens. Well, that's great, but you just brought in a former champion head coach. You're trying to win a championship. Joel Embiid he didn't even know how old he was, right? He's getting to 30 years old. Yeah, I agree with him. Every year you have to put the best team out there to win. But, it's not like Joel Embiid can age like some of these other players. Like he said, you need a little bit of luck, but he gets injured every year in the playoffs. So if you already don't have the other talent out there around him, what are you expecting? I'm just very underwhelmed with this press conference. I guess I should have expected it. But I'm just tired of it, man. Now, the one bright spot coming up is Tyrese Maxey. We will get to him here in just a second. Give me your thoughts in the chat. We'll read some of the comments out, and then we'll get to Maxey, who I'm really excited to hear about. I know he'll probably, be all happy and have a good vibe to him. So definitely interested in hearing what Tyrese has to say. Give me your thoughts in the chat. What is one word to describe this press conference so far? If you had to encapsulate how you're feeling with one word to describe these press conferences, are you confident? Are you not confident? How do you feel? Before we jump into Tyrese Maxey, I got to tell you about our sponsor of today's show. Shout out to our partner, Mint Mobile. Shout out to the partner of today's video, Mint Mobile. If you out there are similar to everyone else in the world who has thought to themselves at one point, why is my wireless bill so high? Then Mint Mobile is for you. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as low as $15 per month, and you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network and keep costs low because they sell directly to you online, cutting out the retail stores and salespeople. Why should you pay more than you have to for access to the same network? You can go and use that money to treat yourself to a Sixers game or even buy a new jersey. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. They even offer super affordable family plans with as little as 2 lines. And switching to Mint is super easy thanks to their digital eSIM cards. You can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your home. And if your phone isn't eSIM compatible, Mint will actually ship you a new SIM card free of charge. The whole process will only take about 15 minutes. And if you get stuck, Mint has a great customer service team to help you through it. So if you are interested in reliable coverage and fast data for a fraction of the cost, go to mintmobile.com/PhillyTake. You can go right down to the description of this video and click the link, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. All right, man. Tyrese Maxey up next. Let's hope we get a little more positivity here. Once again, shout out to Mint Mobile. If you guys want to switch, right? You're tired of paying so damn much for your phone bill. As low as $15 per month. Check them out. I posted a link in the chats, also in the description. Shout out to the Mod Squad getting it going. And if you don't like the sponsors, man, well, buy a channel membership. How about that? All right, some of the words here in the chat. I see depression, laughable, directionless, second round, sad, astonished, screwed, delusional, nonchalant, poverty, better, process, uncomfortable. Answers are divisive and cryptic, and we fans know the deal. That's why I love the Philly fan base, man. And that's why I love covering these teams. The fans are so smart. The fans are so smart, and we know what's going on here. We know what's going on. So that's where we're at. Purgatory, that's a good word. We're still going to be covering this team. It's going to be a drama-filled start to the season, for sure. But we're here, and like Joel alluded to, man, hopefully that one day if the Sixers can win a championship and just feeling like I think that championship would be so damn rewarding. It would be so rewarding to this fan base, man, thinking about everything, every step that you've been through. Damn, man. All right, let's see if we can get a little positivity here with the young and upcoming star. That's right, I said it. Tyrese Maxey. By the way, what do you guys think about the drop shadow? I do not like it. I mean, I think it'll grow a little bit on me, but I don't know. I don't like the heavy red drop shadow on the letters. What do you guys think? Let me know. All right, let's get to it.
What do you do? Last year at this time, you talked about how confident you were going into the season because you knew what your role was going to be for the first time in your NBA career. This year, it could really seem like go one of two ways, depending on what happens. How do you prepare for either, Nick has talked about you having a larger on-ball role if James is not here. If he's not, then it looks a little bit different. How do you prepare for both of those outcomes?
Yeah, I think, honestly, I've prepared for both all my life. I can say that. And then just this summer, I prepared in a different way because I knew how important I feel like I am to this team, to this organization, or whatever at this point in my career. And I'm just ready for whatever. And they was telling me that he said plan A, plan B. I'm ready for plan C, D, all the way down to Z at that point. But honestly, I've just been doing a lot of things to find ways to get better and find ways to fine-tune my game, find ways to be the best possible version of Tyrese Maxey that I can be. Oh, I'm done. I'm done.
I guess Tyrese, talk the elephant in the room. James not being here. This is something that you guys experienced before. Is there like a little disappointment, frustration, or how does the team feel about all this stuff going on?
Right. I mean, as a brother, I love James. Me and James have came close over the last, maybe 2 years, year and a half, however long it's been. So, of course, we hope that he comes in and plays. That's always cool. And for myself, for our teammates, we got to keep going out there and playing regardless of the situation. Plan A, plan B, like Nick Nurse says, and be ready for whatever life brings us. Right. I think we've made moves to improve our team. We added guys. I think that we have guys here that were already here who are ready to step up and perform. And, you don't really worry about, what everybody else is doing outside of our organization. I mean, this is our organization. We are, as of one, we're one group, and we try to go out there and compete every single night at the highest level. And, at the end of the day, we have the reigning MVP on our team. And, he's really good at basketball. We have other guys like Tobias. We have guys like Melton. We have guys that we brought in like Kelly Oubre, Pat Bev, vets like that. So, we're going to go out there and be competitive and compete. And, we all know what the ultimate goal is.
Shout out to Tyrese for
what's
being
going on,
professional,
Tyrese?
man.
Just Nick Nurse was talking about how he wanted you to improve a bit on the defensive end. I guess just like how, as a player, do you take strides like on that end of the floor?
Yeah, I mean, you just watch a lot of film, get stronger, gain more confidence. I think my thing at the end of last year, I really got confidence in what I could do and how I can become an impact on the defensive end. I was able to, crawl up under guys and, frustrate them and get steals and cause havoc and do different things like that. I think my next step is like off the ball, trying to find ways to be in gaps. I think Coach Nurse has a really good system type strategy that will help me, not just myself, but everybody on our team with that. So, I'm going to keep working on it, and, hey, one day we'll have a presser where I don't get asked about my defense.
I love that answer. I love that answer, man. He said, one day we're not going to have a press conference where I get asked about my defense. That's the confidence I need, man. See, I knew Tyrese could brighten up the day. Tyrese is an up-and-coming superstar. Mark my words. Because the difference between him and some of the other guys that I thought would elevate to that status, he's got the personality. Look at that damn smile. And he's got the heart. He never stops working. First one in, last one out. Shout out to Tyrese. I think Nick Nurse is going to do wonders for Tyrese Maxey.
What's up, Tyrese?
What's
I
up?
guess maybe to expand on things you've worked on this offseason, just if you are on the ball more, being a playmaker, and I know that's something you've always talked about already as something you want to keep working on, but how do you sort of work on that in the offseason or simulate that when you're kind of in workouts when you're not in a full type of team setting, you know what I mean? And just
Right.
kind of how did you sort of prepare yourself to then go into camp from that perspective?
Yeah, I did a lot of different things. I think one thing that I would really shout out to my friends, shout out to people back home. One thing that I really did that was new this year is I played a lot of like 3-on-3, 4-on-4, and made it situational. So, I'm playing out a pick and roll, and then, I have the tag guy, the tag defender, and I'm reading him out for every read. You know what I'm saying? So, like, let's say I'm coming off pick and roll with Joel, and they don't want the pocket pass to come. So then they're taking away the pocket, and I got to hit the skip pass. Or, okay, look, I have somebody else in the game, a shooter in the corner, they don't want to tag, I'm hitting the pocket pass. Or now it's my turn to come off and score. So I think that was something that really helped me, because live read, you can't beat reps. And having the clientele to do that, shout out to my friends. They know who they are. I appreciate them. I worked a little bit with Drew handling something new this summer. That went kind of well. We worked on ball handling. We worked on pace. Because I'm so fast, I feel like me being able to play slow is going to help me a lot this year. And honestly, just finding ways to keep getting better. Honestly, it's just, I keep saying it. It's funny. It probably sounds cliche to y'all now, but me getting 1% better every single year has done well for me. I think done well for our organization, and I'm going to keep trying to do that.
Hey, Tyrese, over to your right. Last year you talked about LND, leave no doubt. How does that compare to your approach for this season?
It's still on my wrist now, LND is something that my dad told me. He used to text it to me before every game at the University of Kentucky while I was there, and it means a lot to me. I mean, there's always doubt in other people's heart, you know what I mean? And you try not to, as a human being, you try not to worry about what other people think of you, but, it's always on the back of your mind. But for me, I go out there and leave no doubt. Honestly, if it's something that they think I can't do, like if it's my defense or if it's my playmaking skills or if it's me being able to shoot the ball, I come in every year, try to leave that doubt out. You know what I mean? And it's just a motto of mine. It's a saying of mine that keeps me going, keeps me pushing.
Man, there's certain players that could just brighten up a room, right? There's just certain people that can brighten up an entire dark room, and Tyrese is one of those people, man. Like, even with the way the other press conferences were sounding so far, I just love his positivity. I love the way he just approaches, thinks about things. Man, he's going to be something special. Every time we've seen him in an extended stretch and having the ball in his hands, being able to make plays, he can do it. He can do it. I think Doc Rivers really held him back, and I think just having James Harden there or Joel Embiid, who always need the ball in their hands, it kind of left a weird up-in-the-air role for Tyrese. It's not consistent, and I think now he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot more, and I think he's going to get comfortable with that.
Keeps me able to get up every single morning, early morning, 6 a.m.s and different things like that, coming in late at night like last night, and just working and trying to get 1% better every day, so I make sure there is no doubt at the end of the day.
Tyrese, David Aldridge with The Athletic. I just wonder what you think as both an NBA player and a basketball fan when you see all these moves being made in the offseason, big moves, big trades. What goes through your mind?
I think it's good for our league. I think it's really cool. I think it's gonna, make people want to tune in even more and watch basketball games. It makes the East even more competitive than it already was. We try to beat each other up every playoffs, and that's how it goes. And it's gonna be great. Honestly, I feel like everybody is trying to get better. Everybody is trying to, at the end of the day, it's a competition. It's an entertainment league, but it's a competition. Everybody's trying to win, including us. So, we make moves to get better. We go out there and try to improve with the people that we have in our locker room now, in our organization now. And, it's been great, I think. And as a basketball fan, I can't wait to sit on my couch on the days that I'm not playing and watch.
And given what Milwaukee's done and what Boston's done, what makes you think your squad can compete and beat those teams if you see them in the postseason?
Like I started out saying, we have the MVP. We got a really good coach. I feel like we have the pieces around, our MVP to be competitive. And, I feel like guys are going to step up, myself included. Tobias Harris. We have a lot of different guys on our team who I think as an organization we really believe in. And we really believe in taking next steps as well. So we're going to go out there. We're going to compete. We're going to, I'm sure Nick Nurse is going to have a great system, and I have the ultimate faith in him as a player in this organization, and I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Hey, Tyrese. Looks like this year you might end up playing a lot more minutes with D'Anthony Melton. Just what have you seen from him this summer, and how do you guys go about growing as a duo?
Yeah, Melt is great, honestly. He's so even keel. I feel like he's somebody that it's hard to get a read on, But me, we're really close now. We talk all the time, dang near every day, honestly. And I'm looking forward to seeing, what he's worked on this summer. I got to see him a little bit, got to see his shot, got to see his handle, got to see him finishing at the rim. I always mess with him about making layups. So I think he'll improve at that. And then, honestly, he's taught me so much, on the defensive end, just what he sees, us being kind of the same height. I think he has a little bit longer arms than I do, but we're the same height. And he's trying to taught me some of his tricks and his trades that he uses on the defensive end, and I just can't wait to get started.
Hey, Tyrese. It was reported earlier in the offseason that the Sixers are going to wait to extend your contract so they can maintain flexibility going forward. What factors in the organization make you want to put your trust in them in that way?
Good question.
Yeah, I'm grateful for them taking a chance at me, at drafting me 21. I feel like I've tried to give them my all in this organization. I work hard every single day, and I'm just going out here and focusing on the season right now. I'm focusing on how we can get better, how I can be better.
Good answer.
How at the end of the day, like I said, this is a competition, and we have one goal in mind. And I love Philly. I know this is the business. Man. I know this is how it goes, and I'm a happy person. And this is my life. I'm happy with it. And you can hear more about all of these wonderful stories that we're going to have on my podcast. There we go.
Shameless plug, Tyrese Maxey, man. Yo, shout out to Tyrese, honestly. He like I said, he just brings good energy. You could be having the worst day, and you could just tell, he just genuinely appreciates the opportunity. So, yeah, no complaints with Tyrese. He answered like a professional, even though he's on the younger side. He's going to have to take that step up and be a leader on this team. And I think he's ready for it. Now let's go to the guy that has been a part of the trolling this offseason with the crumble cookies. Tobias, he looks the same he does all the time, man. He's like, yep, I'm here. Last year of my deal, I'm getting $40 million. I'm good. Let's hear what Tobias has to say.
What'd you learn from that experience, and what's your perspective on James being absent today?
I mean, yeah, like a few years ago when that did happen, we just learned to control what we can control, right? Like, you know, today's media day, tomorrow, first day.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking to myself, like, I cannot believe Tobias is still on this team. And it's nothing against him. Again, I like him as a person, really good locker room guy. I just can't believe he's still here. I mean, 5 years. 5 years. They've been trying to trade him for 3 years. I can't believe he's still here, man. It's crazy. Crazy to think about.
Practice. We got a great group here. Everyone, collective guys out of here have been working their tails off all summer long to be ready for this moment. And no, for us, we're ready to compete. New staff in place here as well. So we're ready to learn a new system offensively and defensively and figure out ways that we can be at our best as a group. So, you know, that's all we can do. Everything else will handle itself, and you know, we'll figure it out from there. But right now, like, we got each other here and we're ready to go, and that's all really that matters.
Politically correct Tobias in the house.
Joel talked about continuity and how important that is. You and him have been together now for a while. Tyrese has been here for a little bit. Do you sense that continuity? Do you feel like that's there despite, you know, having a new coach and despite some of the things that are going on off the court?
Yeah, no, I think, you know, we got, I mean, throughout the summer, guys have been together working out. Last couple weeks, guys have been here working out. So we got great energy in the gym. The new staff, you know, has done a great job of really allowing everybody to come in here and be themselves and implement a lot of different things that are giving a lot of guys confidence in their games and what's expected of them this year. And obviously we'll find out more of that during training camp. But for us as a whole group, I mean, you know, we just want to get out and get ready and play. I mean, we have a lot of
I feel like
talent,
I hear this same speech every single year, man.
And
I feel like
we're
it's
excited to
literally
hit
the same
floor
speech from Tobias.
and get this thing rolling. So I think, you know, this is definitely like been great energy in the gym with
He's
this
like, I don't
staff
want to be
and
here right now.
with all the players that have been here.
Hey, Tobias.
Hey.
You know, you've had, depending on before the James trade, after the James trade, your role has changed a lot on this team the last couple of years. What are you kind of anticipating now with a new coach in Nick Nurse, and how much is that also, I mean, how much uncertainty is there surrounding you depending on if and when James arrives and if he doesn't?
Yeah, I don't really think it's too much uncertainty. I think that, you know, I've had great conversations with Coach on what he expects of me. And I think, like, you know, the whole group understands and knows, like, it's a different style of basketball with him and his philosophies of offense and defense. Now there's going to be a lot.
Like I always say, man, Tobias is not a bad player. He's just not anything close to a max. Like, he'll give you 15 to 18 a night, right? He'll give you 7 rebounds, which is fine. But he's just not consistent enough. And then when you look at the allocation of touches on this team, right? Who are the top dogs? It's Joel, it's James, and then it's Maxey. Like, you're number 4 on the hierarchy, my guy. It's just not going to work for what your role is expected to be based on your contract. So we all know that, but you got to improve as a defender. You have to be a better rebounder. If Tobias could grab 12 rebounds a game, I'd be very pleased with him. And he does it once in a while, but it's not consistent enough, right? Then there's times where, and I think this goes back to Doc Rivers, where everybody just doesn't know their role. It seems like everybody's been talking about a role, and I think Nick Nurse is really going to help with that philosophy part, but you know, I need the aggressive. Remember a couple years ago when Tobias almost made the All-Star game? Ben Simmons made it over him, but the way he was playing at that point, that was my favorite Tobias Harris. He wanted it every damn night. I'll never forget that game winner he hit. I forget who it was against, the Lakers maybe? But Tobias Harris was just, he was locked in. That's what we need. That's what the Sixers need. He just gets out of it way too much. And, I mean, somehow Elton Brand's still working in the front office, but you know, he gave him that $180 million contract, which was very interesting. And now they're on the last year of the deal. So if things go south, that might be moved before February, or they let it expire and you see where it goes from there. I proposed last year, bring him off the bench. 6-man Tobias would be elite going up against some of these other backups. But that's why I'm up here.
Movement, a lot of different actions, a lot of body movement out there, a lot of running, getting up and down. So I think all those things play factors that are helpful in a lot of guys on teams' games, including myself, and I'm excited for that. But like I said before, I've always been a player, whatever's asked. I'm going to figure out a way to do it at the highest of my ability. And, I've had great conversations with Coach on what he expects of me, how he, sees me, envisions me playing with this group. And I'm extremely excited for it. I'm excited for this whole group. I think it's a great opportunity for a lot of guys to showcase their abilities, their games, and for us as a collective group to figure out our chemistry and see how good we can be.
Hey, Tobias. Right from the beginning when Nick got here, he's talked about he thinks he can find ways to get you involved more in offense and get you different ways to attack and be more involved maybe than before. You just mentioned it a little bit there, but are you excited about that? And what do you think some of those ways are where you can maybe, expand a little bit from where you were the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what player wouldn't be excited for those type of things, but obviously, we talked about running more pick and rolls with myself and Joel, post up actions as well, catching the ball off the rebound and going coast to coast, and just being able to get up as many threes as I can on the offensive end. So, all those conversations just went straight to the gym in the summer and continue to implement all those things in my game. That's how I work out on a normal, but just being really focused on the type of action. So watching, plays and sets that he ran in Toronto and how they came about in the personnel wise, and then implement it here and been back here for some time as well and was able to go through those things as well with live play. So I mean I'm happy and excited for that, and can't wait to get going. That's it.
Yeah, that's it for you, buddy. Listen, man, I'm excited to see what Nick Nurse can do. Like I said, I think that is the one bright spot, if you want to talk about this team improving in different ways. I wish Nick Nurse would have had the team last year, but, if there's one coach I think can unlock more of Tobias consistently, I do think it's Nick Nurse. He usually does well with improving his forwards, and obviously the Sixers lack a lot of depth. I'm excited to see some of these other pieces they picked up, but I mean, it's tough. It's tough at this point to really have a lot of expectation based on what you have seen. I mean, yeah, they're going to be competitive. They're going to win a good amount of regular season games, but how far can they go, right? How many more opportunities do you really have? And I think the bias has to be an integral part of improvement for this team. So, yeah, we'll see. Next up, it looks like Furkan Korkmaz. I forgot Furk was on this team. I honestly forgot he was on this team. Furkan's requested a trade twice, and he's been denied both times. How is he still on this team, man? Furkan Korkmaz, take it away, ladies and gentlemen.
Joel said, I was just watching his interview, it was every time fun to play against him. He has all different type of tricks. I think this is going to be all new opportunities for most of us, especially coming from last 2 years. I'm so excited for him, for this organization.
Yo, let Furkan become a sniper under Nick Nurse, man. I will go thank Nick personally. I'll write him a card. Let Furkan become a sniper. Start shooting 45% from deep. Let's go.
Organization, he's a new coach, and I think he's gonna change a lot of stuff. But in the same time, it's gonna be more fun. I think more pace on the court, and then I think I'm gonna be also seeing these benefits from him.
How was your off season, and what were some areas?
Yo, I cannot be the only one sitting up here thinking about this. Furkan's up here talking like he is a superstar. He's up here talking like he's going to be one of the stars of this team, man. I love it. I love this dude's confidence. If there's one thing about him, whether it's in Turkey or whatever country, or he comes back to the USA, man, he's confident as hell. Shout out to Furkan, man.
The focus for you and your training.
Oh, man.
It was a long summer, I can say that. I was in overseas for like 4 months almost, and then I played with the national team. Especially coming from last year, my main goal was like get in shape again, get some playing minutes with the national team especially, and then of course the individual things that we've been working on every summer, like shooting, dribbling, defensively, offensively. Most of the time it's same stuff, just to get better at it. And of course I was trying to get bigger as always. It's never gonna stop, and I think that was a good summer for me.
Hey, Furka, just to, I guess, address the overall elephant in the room, just you guys were in kind of a similar situation a couple years ago with Ben not being here, now with James not being here today. Just, is there anything that you learned from the situation 2 years ago, just like how to navigate that as a team that you feel like can be beneficial as you sort of go through a similar situation, at least right now?
I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing to have experience on this type of situations, but like everybody knows, whoever step on the court, you know, we should play for each other, and then we should looking to get wins on the court. You know, doesn't matter who is playing, who is not playing. Of course, like James Harden, he's a big player. Who doesn't want him in the team? You know, like that's not realistic. It doesn't matter how old is he, like what type of shape he's in. Like he's James Harden. Of course,
it does
like
matter, Furk.
But personally,
can't come back 30 pounds overweight
out there on the court. We should give our best for this organization, for these fans, to win the championship. I think it's good to have experience now on this type of situation right now to going forward.
Furkan Korkmaz, man.
We talked about the new coaching staff, and Nick talked about how wing minutes there's going to be a lot of competition for that in camp. Does it excite you, like knowing how kind of last season ended for you? Now with a new coaching staff, you have kind of this new opportunity to compete for minutes?
Definitely, it's a competition. I think it's not just for this year. It was competition every year. You know, there's a lot of guys on the wing spot, but whoever can make the shots, whoever is gonna play the best defense, that's the guy gonna stay on the court. I know that, and then you're gonna be able to play with the Joel, with Tyrese. You're gonna be a good fit for those guys, and I think the mentality is gonna be huge for all year, because you know it's a long season, a lot of games. There's gonna be some games that you play well, you play bad, you doesn't even play. It's just gonna
fire me up, Furkan.
The stay ready thing. You know?
Fire me up.
But, I'm super comfortable. You know, I hope everything's gonna work out for me and for all of us.
Furkan's gonna come out. He's gonna hit 5 threes in the first game, and then Nick Nurse is gonna give him 25 minutes in the next game, and he's gonna go 0 for 7. Next up to the plate, Mo Bamba, formerly known as, best known for the song. Here he is, Philadelphia 76er.
You talked about how
big time
Joel
acquisition
Embiid
this
was
offseason. Mo Bamba,
driving
ladies and
force
gentlemen.
In your decision to come here, how does it feel with your history alongside him to be his teammate now?
Pretty good. It shows how life can really come back in full circle and hit you. But he's, it's going to be a little different now that I'm his teammate. You go from mentor to friend to teammate. But I'm looking forward to, just seeing his work ethic and seeing what he puts into the game before on any given night. Because I think on the outside looking in,
crazy
you only see
wingspan.
things like, maybe a little warm up on the court before the game, and then obviously the game, and then you say hello after the game. But I think seeing how things translate from the weight room, to practice, to the court, to the game is going to be fun to see.
Hey, Mel. You played with, you're coming to a team where you don't have a lot of familiarity with your current teammates, but you did play with some of them during the Rico Hines runs in Los Angeles. What was it like to get that experience, and what do you make of the playing styles of the guys that you played with?
It was fun. A lot of those guys have been together in summer league or last year with the team. I was kind of like the new kid on the block, but it was easy to kind of mesh with the guys. Everybody was just so versatile, and obviously it's the summer, but it was good to put in the sets that we'd run.
Never forget when Mo Bamba dropped 7 threes in the first half against the Sixers. Career high.
Hey, Mo. Right here. I think you mentioned about the possibility of maybe even sharing the floor with Joel in some lineups just due to your shooting ability and things like that. Have you and Joe ever had that conversation about what maybe that possibility would look like on the floor?
A little bit, but I think that's more of a coach's decision. one thing that was really attractive in free agency, more so than any other team, is Coach Nurse's track history of playing two bigs together. I know in Toronto they had, even last year, they had a bunch of bigs that, played both out on the perimeter and around the rim. And he's a mastermind in trying to put out as much, different looks and being creative out there. And it's just going to be excited to finally be a part of.
In terms of Joel mentoring you leading up to becoming his teammate, what are some of the instances that stick out in your mind?
Just the summer sessions, honestly. That's probably when we would spend the most time together. We both obviously share a trainer in Drew Hanlon, and just being around him and seeing what he does day to day and how he goes about his business is paid, huge dividends for me. But again, as I mentioned earlier, seeing it translate from off season to in season is going to add a new perspective to how.
Kind of quiet up in here for me.
Going to the next one, Daniel House.
Y'all gotta make a little bit more noise. Give me some energy. You gonna ask me some questions? Give me some type of life.
I was gonna skip Daniel House, but I don't know. I like his energy.
I'm gonna cut back this year.
All right, I'm gonna try to bring some energy here. Man, how do y'all kind of put what's going on with James to the side? Because he's your teammate. I understand that. You don't have no bad feelings toward him, but he's not here, and he has to be here to help you. So how do you kind of balance those things?
That we can really only control and focus on what we can control, Yeah, he feel that way. Things is going on. Yeah, the season's about to start.
Yeah.
The team still got to move on. So we just going to, just work together, put in extra effort, put in work to collectively come together to make sure that we can still fill the void.
I've heard enough from
into
you.
the situation.
Next up, Jaden Springer.
Overall approaching.
Will he finally get an opportunity?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it could be a big season coming up. We've been working every day, been with the staff all day, every day. So
Jaden looking kind of husky.
Confident where things are going, and just getting ready for training camp. Just gotta go out there, just play hard, and show what I can show.
Hope you have an offensive game, man. You could really crack the rotation here.
What are you looking forward to about playing for Nick Nurse, having been around him at Summer League? And also, what are you looking forward to building off of with your own game heading into this season?
I'm looking forward to showcase all the work we've been putting in. Nick Nurse and the staff, they've been with us every single day, so being able to get after with those guys and learn and just keep getting better day in and day out, that's something I'm excited to show.
Hey, Jaden. Back here. Just going off that, what was the experience like of having Nick Nurse coaching guys in the Summer League too?
That was a great experience. I don't know if that's too common for a head coach to be that active. From day one, just starting in practice, he was involved. He coached us up, correcting us, and it stayed like that throughout the whole Summer League, man. That was big.
Jaden Springer loves inadvertently throwing shots at Doc Rivers. This is now the third time he's talked about just Nick Nurse being so precise on every detail and the little drills and things like that. He even said he's I don't know if that's normal or not, but I like it.
Yeah, he really gained a lot of respect from me from the jump just for doing that. So.
All right, that's it for Jaden. Guys, drop a like on the stream right now. We need 300. We're almost there. 650 people still in here tuning in with us. Let's see who's next. Looks like our boy D Melt.
What's up, D Anthony?
What's good?
I guess it's
D Melt. They got a big decision with him. Are they going to pay him?
I guess how do you handle the current James situation, just as his teammate, friend, and just how do you guys kind of move forward with the whole situation?
I think the biggest thing for us is just we're worried about whoever's putting on a Sixers uniform for us. So whoever's coming to camp, whoever's showing practice, I think all that type of stuff is what we control, and that's all I really care about, honestly. We're ready to jump ball with anybody that's here, so we got to get prepared for that and understand that whoever's here is who we got.
I guess it's moving forward. I guess how can your relationship and with Tyrese Maxey on the court grow as you guys move forward your second season together?
I'm super excited for my opportunity. Whoever's here and who's not, me and Tyrese have prepared, and we're ready to share the court more this year, and we've been talking about it a lot, and just understanding what we need to do just to help each other out and just help this team. So I think we're both really excited, and everything that we bring to the game can definitely complement each other.
Looks like you're going to end up starting D-Melt.
Anthony,
as
what
of right now.
have you seen from the guy who was just up here, Jaden Springer, with his development?
It's been real good. Jaden's
professional
development is definitely improved. We all know him as a pesky ball defender, but I think he's gotten even stronger on defense, and his shooting is coming along too, specifically his three-point shooting, and just having the confidence just to pull the trigger. So I think all that type of stuff, is coming along and is going to help provide for this team.
Nick Nurse is obviously known as a very aggressive and creative defensive coach.
Yeah.
You're smiling because of your defensive abilities. Just how do you feel like you can contribute to a system like that, or just how do you feel like that's going to play to your strengths this season?
Man, I'm so excited just to see what he comes up with, and his defensive schemes, and just see where his mind is at. So me and Nick Nurse have had several conversations about what I can bring to the table and stuff like that. But I'm excited. I can't wait to get out there. I think he understands my defensive capabilities, and I think he definitely wants to maximize those too.
What's up, D'Anthony? This is a contract year for you, so what are you hoping to accomplish? Everybody says I want to win and put the team first, all that. But I guess individually, if there's some point of growth or anything else that you're trying to accomplish this year.
I think the biggest thing for me, just from what I've been saying from the time I got into the league, was just getting better in every aspect of my game. I feel like I've done that from my first year to now. So I just got to understand what my weaknesses are and to continue to attack those, and but also play to my strengths. So I've just been working on everything, from being a PG to being off ball to having to set screens, back screens, and just to working on my body. So I always just want to continue to work on my game 100%, and just whatever comes with that comes with that.
It's going to be a lot of movement in this offense,
year,
man.
What do
I'm
you
excited.
think, having had time to reflect on it, went wrong in those Game 6 and 7 against Boston, that it looked like you guys were on the verge of breaking through, and obviously went the other way?
Yeah, I think those two games was definitely significant for us, but I just think execution, it came down to that, and which team was going to execute more down the stretch, and then I think it happened to be Boston. And those type of games, sometimes it matters about stops and who can get more stops at the end of the game. So obviously we wish we won, and we wish we went all the way, but I think it showed that Boston, they was a more executed team down the stretch, and they got more stops too.
All right, let's see who's next.
So
Philip Petrusev. We'll listen to the first question. We'll see if we want to hear Petrusev
against them, because this year I'll go against the NBA players. So and also being on a team with some experienced NBA guys like Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Morey loves his big men.
NBA too. So just being together with them and sharing some experiences with them was helpful as well.
All right, I'm sorry, Philip. I'm sorry, but I really want to hear this next one. It is the Sixers' newest acquiree, recent signing, a guy who I've been calling for all summer. I'm glad Daryl Morey tuned into the show. The Wild Fro. It is Kelly Oubre. Let's take a listen to what Kelly Oubre has to say. They'll probably ask him why he decided to come to Philadelphia. Drop a like and subscribe if you guys are new. Welcome into the show, man. Let's go. Kelly!
Sorry. Hey, Kelly. Just curious for you, why Philadelphia? What did you see as far as like an opportunity, and what made you want to come to the Sixers?
Well, it was obviously late in the free agency period, and I was really taking this offseason to kind of dial my life in and, re-energize and refocus. And Mr. Morey and Coach Nick, they were constantly trying to get in contact with me. And, I really, at the end of the day, when I sat down and all my options pretty much were like what they were, I knew for a fact that I want to go somewhere where I'm wanted just like Kansas, you know, Coach Self was the first person to recruit me from a freshman. And, you know, it really brought me back to my roots of basketball. You know, you go where you wanted and you go where you're loved, and I felt like this was the right place.
Hey, Kelly, what's going on? I guess what were those conversations with Coach Nurse like? Did he kind of give you an idea of what they envisioned for you or anything this season?
Very vague. You know, it's more so us getting to know each other and just communicating from person to person. The only thing, you know, Coach Nick said, which I would want any coach to say, is that there's no promises, but, you know, there is opportunity for the taking, and that's all I need to hear. And, you know, it was something that I really used to motivate me, and, you know, I respect that.
So, Poppy?
What up? What up, my guy? How you doing?
What's up, man? I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Hey, from afar coming into this, what did you think of this organization from the outside? And, you know, now that you're starting to get inside, what do you think the potential is here?
I don't want to bash any other organizations out there, but, like, you know, I've been on a couple teams in my career, and this is the most well-oiled machine that I've been to. This is my first time actually sitting at a press conference table, you know, with this many people, and you know, it's a culture shock for real. But at the end of the day, I'm ready to adapt. And honestly, man, this team wins every year, right? The fan base wants them to win more, but I've come from teams where they have no hope, like zero hope within the whole city, and this is not that at all. So,
yo, shout out to Kelly Oubre. He's throwing straight daggers right now at Charlotte. Who else? Golden State. Damn, mostly Charlotte, though. He's saying Charlotte was never winning a damn thing. Damn. But yo, Kelly Oubre, if he gets hot, you know, he could be a microwave type of player. He did average 20-plus points last year on the crappy Hornets, but, you know, he did take a lot of shots. But his confidence, swagger, never have to doubt that.
I appreciate this fan base, man, for being so hard on the team and wanting to see greatness, because they deserve it. And this organization gives the organization gives the players the platform to do so with everything around us. So, you know, it's night and day from what I've been to, man. And I'm gonna just take advantage of it, soak it all in, and take it day by day.
Another familiar face.
Yes.
What's up?
How you doing?
Just since you did join this team sort of late in the process, just what have the last few days, couple weeks been like as far as getting acclimated, getting to know your new teammates, and how crucial is the training camp going to be for you? Very
crucial for me. You know, obviously you have to expedite the process so that we can grow our foundation and get that camaraderie right. And, you know, it's just I'm taking it day by day. Obviously, I have to implement myself into, you know, these guys' flow, right? We see each other every single day. They've seen each other every day, and they know each other very well. So, you know, I'm not trying to force any friendships or relationships, but at the end of the day, like, I have to get comfortable pretty quick. And I think that training camp, being away from the facility and away from our comfort zone, to help with that a lot.
Hey, Kelly, speaking of, you know, getting implemented here, you've had all kinds of roles up to this point in your career, you know, going from just a guy to then you're a 20-point scorer and kind of swinging back and forth at that. I mean, how difficult is that year to year to make those kind of wild adjustments, and has that prepared you for, you know, this opportunity?
It's very difficult, you know, and I just chalk it up to just being water. Whatever the team needs from me, that's what I do. Whatever, you know, the organization needs from me, that's what I'll do. And like I said when I first got drafted, man, I'm here to help a team win. I'm not here to, you know, focus on myself and what I can bring to the table. I'm more so here to do whatever I'm asked and I'm told. And if it's going out there and scoring 20 points a night, then I could do that. But at the end of the day, they also ask a lot other stuff of me, like guarding the best players, you know, taking, you know, giving my minutes to other people, because obviously they make more than me, right? But they're still asking me to do everything and all the above. And I'm in the business of proving people wrong, right? I love to kill the naysayers, kill, you know, the people who may say that I'm not good at something. I'm going to come and show you that I am. And I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So, you know, that's just something that's definitely led me up to this point, because I really don't know, you know, what I'm going to be asked of. But at the end of the day, I do know who I am and what I've been through, and I can do anything that I'm asked.
Great answer. I'm happy the Sixers finally have a wing. Finally, they get a wing for some depth. And for the people out there that say, oh, well, he's not consistent and he shoots too much and he's inefficient, true, but he's not going to have to take those type of shots here in Philly, right? He's going to be playing around Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and whoever else. He's not going to have to take 15 shots a game. So I think, put him in the best spots possible, let him work off ball, get some shots. And like you said, he's not just a one-trick pony. He can go out there, defend better than a guy like maybe PJ Tucker sometimes or Tobias or whoever. So, yeah, I'm excited for Kelly Oubre. But, I think he'll get some opportunity. I'm surprised he was available for as long as he was. Who is next?
From Coach
Azulis
Nurse and
Tabellis.
his assistant coaches with the way they operate.
Yeah, we're skipping that one. Who's after
Here was
him?
great.
Turk!
As far as like coaches, staff, summer league was great. The environment here was great. As far as like coaches,
Will
staff,
Turk make
everybody,
the roster,
the energy
man.
was there. So I kind of felt like that helped me going into the summer to perform the way I did. But to answer your question, I feel the love from the fans. Kind of feel like how I felt in college.
Turk can play,
my
man.
School.
I guess to go off of that question, just then coming off of summer league, what were
Good
the
summer league
biggest
for
things
Turk.
that you worked on in that period between like mid-July through now that you feel like will help you now?
Just getting stronger and learning from guys around me, as far as my vets on the team and guys who've been in the league for a lot of years, and just listening and being coachable.
One of the guys also out in LA doing Rico Hines runs. What did that experience teach you, just going up against NBA players right off the bat and kind of being in that environment?
It gave me a lot of confidence in myself. Just to be able to compete at that level with a lot of NBA guys, that gave me a lot of confidence, and it helped me, want to be at the highest level and work harder.
Turquavion, you were one of the team's best players in Summer League, if not the best player. What was some of the feedback you got from your coaches there as to things to work on going forward, and what have you been spending your off-season workout time on since then to now?
Probably mainly like defensively, on the defensive end, on the ball and off the ball, just being in the right positions, stuff like that, and, having a better shot selection than,
Sorry, he's young, man. He's nervous. All right, we got one more lined up in the chamber. Can anybody guess who it is? I can't believe he's back on the Sixers. I can't believe it. It is 2023.
You guys doing all right?
And he is here.
How you doing?
The man, the myth, the legend, Danny Green.
Russia, yeah,
Back on a Nick Nurse team in 2023. Let's hear what he has to say. No PJ Tucker, by the way.
Right? Good morning.
PJ did show displeasure with the whole Harden thing a couple months ago. Who knows if he'll show up? But Danny Green is here.
Yeah, good morning.
Wow.
Danny, welcome back.
Thank you.
Just what made this?
He was an analyst 3 weeks ago. He was on ESPN talking about Harden and Morey. Here he is on the team, man. Crazy.
Opportunity for you, obviously familiarity with this organization, but also familiarity with Nick. How much of all of that did played into your decision to come
Just
back?
what you said. Those pieces were the main factors. Being familiar with the city, being familiar with the organization, and the pieces that were here already that I played with, Joel, Tobias, Tyrese. And then, of course, Nick was just, the icing on the cake. But he was one of the main factors why I came back. But it's a blessing. This is year 15 for me. I don't take it for granted. There's a lot of guys that were in my position or have been in my position who are no longer in this league. So the association is a wonderful place, and I'm excited to have an opportunity to play in it again.
Spent a lot of last season working your way back from the injury that you had here
Yeah.
at the end of the playoffs. Just where do you feel like you're at now health-wise, and just what was that now looking kind of back on the long process to get back? Just how can that go?
I had some amazing PTs. They were great. They got me back in a quick span, but feeling even better now. As this summer, I've been able to focus on the other parts of the rehab, but keeping the knee right, keeping the quads and the muscles right. This is the best that my body's felt in a long time, especially having kind of a year off to just focus on those things. So I'm excited. It's a great opportunity to not just prove to everyone around me, but to myself that I can still be who I was before I left here.
Unfortunately, I don't think you can, Danny, but I wish you the best, and he'll be a good locker room presence, right? Especially with Nick Nurse. But, you know, if this was 29-year-old Danny Green, who could be one of the best 3-and-D players in the NBA, then yeah, I think he would be a huge upgrade. But there was a reason he was available, right? He got traded to Memphis. I mean, that injury was brutal for the Sixers. He got traded. Then he didn't really end up playing with Memphis at all. He went to Cleveland last year and only played a few games. So who knows how much he really has left in the tank. He's 36 years old, but we'll see, man.
You are a 3-time champ. You know what it takes. You know what it takes for a team to go all the way.
Yeah, I've been fortunate as well. I've been very lucky. I've been in some good spots.
Why is this team, as constructed now, which includes James not being here, why is this team a championship contender?
Well, I think we have a lot of depth. There's been some movement in the East as the last couple of days. They're obviously very good teams. But I think some of those teams lack the depth that we may have. But we have all the pieces. Are you serious? And with Nick on top of it.
Are you serious? Did he just say the teams in the East lack the depth that the Sixers have? I mean, I know we're going on 2 hours here, but did I hear that correct?
That coaching guys, he's not scared to coach guys and having us playing the right way, have us playing confident. I said I played some of my best basketball with Nick in Toronto. So I highly expect you'll see a lot of guys here having some of their career years and playing really good basketball. With those two factors, and of course the MVP, Joel Embiid, you always have a chance at winning.
Danny, for you, was there a sense of like unfinished business? And the reason why I'm saying
100%.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
The first year you got injured, second year you got injured in a way.
Us, hopefully we don't keep that streak going. But we had a great opportunity my first year. We lost to Atlanta in the second round. I feel like if I was healthy, we would have had a better shot at getting over that hump. And we were playing pretty good basketball.
Or if Ben Simmons would
my
play.
Second year.
And actually,
even though Joel was out the first 2 games, I think he had a broken face at the time. We were playing really good basketball at home, and we were even the series up at 2-2, and I felt like I was in really good rhythm. If I didn't get injured, things may have gone differently. We don't know, but there's definitely a sense of unfinished business here. I've been able to win and lucky enough to win in other cities. I would love to be able to bring that aspect to this city, the city of Philadelphia, and finally get over home, stay healthy, first and foremost, and playing great basketball at the end of the year, April, May, and June, and getting us where we need to be.
In terms of, bridging your experiences here and then with Nick, what are some of the things that, you've talked to Joel about in terms of Nick's personality and what works best in Nick's system? Can you kind of explain your experience?
I think if anybody knows Nick well that has not played for him is Joel. Just the fact that many times he's had to play against him and so many things that Nick has thrown at Joel. Just outside the box, different things, different looks, don't know what to expect. So I think Joel knows that. He's asked me a little bit about it, but I think he knows it pretty well. And I just told him, he's going to coach you. He's going to coach you the right way. He's going to have us playing the right way.
I'm excited for Nick Nurse, man.
He's going to trust in us. But, expect the unexpected. And he's going to, throw some different things out there, which it'll be fun in times, and sometimes it may be confusing. But as long as we are on the same page and we trust in it, we'll always have a shot.
From your experience, what do you think the impact on a player like Tyrese Maxey is going to be under Nick?
Huge. Nick's a highly positive guy. Not saying that Doc wasn't, but it's a different change. It's two different types of coaching. But I think it'll allow Tyrese to be who he is. He'll be the happy, fun-loving guy that everybody sees him to be, and smiling on the court and playing his best basketball. So, there's a lot of different factors that come into play with that. We don't know who will be playing, who won't be. But I fully expect Tyrese to hopefully have a healthy year, stay healthy, and have a great year at an all-star caliber level. And he's that type of player. And him, as well as Joel, will be leading us this year.
Over here, D.
Yep.
How are you, man?
Good, man. It's good to see you.
Good. You too, man.
Yeah.
How do veteran players compartmentalize? What I mean by that is, James is your teammate. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he's friends with many people on this team.
Yeah.
But he's not here.
Yeah.
So how do you compartmentalize those two things?
Years of practice. Luckily for me, I've had a lot of practice with multiple teams in this scenario, and being in Philly my first year, my first 2 years. We had a situation similar in San Antonio. I had a situation similar.
Yeah, and I'll never
But
forget
it takes
Danny
years
Green
of
backing up
practice,
Ben
not just with your
Simmons.
teammates, but your home relationships, separating your work life and your home life. You gotta be able to separate the two. So when it comes to the brotherhood, the family side of it, and then the team side of it, you figure out the balance and figure out the way. You know, James is still a brother of mine, a teammate of mine. Consider him family, and I want what's best for him, but also want what's best for the team. So you got to find a way to balance it, to separate the two, and trying to kind of be Switzerland. So it's tough, but you know, I said I had some years of practice, and I've gotten decently good at it. Not perfect, but I'm still working on it. We'll see how it goes this time around for the third time for me, second time around for some of the guys here, but it'll be interesting. But I said I hope things go well for all sides. I hope things work out for all sides, and I want to see him happy as well as our team, you know, to be thriving and happy and having the people that need to be here and want to be here, and him land where he wants to be.
I also wonder if you can remember, speaking of Nick, what the huddle was like.
There you go.
What the huddle or the practice was like when Nick said, "No, we're going to go boxing one on Curry in the NBA Finals."
You should have seen the huddle when he said we're going to go triangle in two. I think we were more confused at that and more like, what the hell is going on? Are we really doing this? But when we tried the triangle one, we're like, okay, not too bad. I mean, the boxing one, we were like, okay, not too bad. The triangle two kind of threw us for a real loop. And when it worked, we were like, okay, it's actually working. By the time they figured it out, it was kind of late. So it took a lot of trust in that. And after it being successful, Nick's earned my respect and a lot of trust from me. So anything he throws at us now, you know, I'm definitely going to be on board and get the guys on board with it. Thanks, DJ. Thank you guys.
It's good to see you guys, man.
All right, so that is Danny Green. We've heard essentially everybody. Oh, wait, we got a good one coming up next. I'm sorry. We got to go one more here. I got to hear Pat Bev, man. Pat Bev's going to fire me up. I'm excited for Pat Bev. I don't care what any of you say out there. Pat Bev knows how to win. Now, he might not have a lot left in the tank, but he knows how to hold a locker room down, man. Ever since the Minnesota days, seeing what he did, but even before that, man, he's a guy that you hate playing against and you love to have on your team. Let's take a listen to Pat Bev.
How you guys doing today? Very well, thank you.
Hey, Pat. You seem to take a lot of pride in improving the locker room situation wherever you go. I guess what is the challenge of trying to do that and take on that sort of leadership role when you're with a new team?
I don't think it's something I go in, trying to do. I think guys see me how I prepare for a game, how I prepare for practice, and kind of, bite some stuff from me off there. I don't go in trying to fix the locker room. I go in there being a pro. Crosses my T's, dotting my I's, make sure I get all my work in as far as body work and basketball court work. And if guys see that, maybe that rubs off on a couple guys, maybe that rubs up on everybody. So that's always been my mindset.
Yeah, Pat, in the back here. So you're obviously buddies with James Harden, but how do you balance being
it's his
pals
boy
with a guy like that?
It's his podcast co-host, Roan. That's crazy. I was like, why is he laughing? That's hilarious, man.
And also wanting what's best for the Sixers, the team that you're on.
Great question. It's above my pay grade, obviously. One of my reasons of coming here was, Tobias, James, Embiid, and, Nick Nurse. So, to be very competitive in this East now that these teams are making all these moves, it'd be great to have them. Obviously, you can't replace a person like that, a player like that. But if it doesn't work out, we definitely have enough to go to war with, for sure.
Hey, Pat, just given the uncertainty surrounding James' situation,
Pat Bev is a
that
dog,
could then
man.
lead to a lot of you guys having to kind of
He's ready to go out there
carry
and
the
eat.
ball handling duties, finishing the offense. Just how do you anticipate going about that during camp, and what are going to be the keys if it's kind of a by committee approach?
I don't know. Basketball is the same sport. It hasn't changed. I don't think it has. I think the rim is still 10 feet tall. I think you have to put the ball in the hole and stop the other team from putting the ball in the hole. So we're we're not here to reinvent the wheel. Obviously, what's business stays business. And, players play, and everything above that, that's the only thing we do. You really can't. You only can control what you can control. And right now, me controlling this little media press conference is my only focus right now.
What have your initial impressions been of Tyrese Maxey? Obviously,
he's ready to
gone up
ball,
against him
man.
For a few years, but now being his teammate, just what's impressed you most about him so far?
He's really good with the ball and pick and roll. Really good with the ball and ISO. Regardless of what's been going on with Philadelphia, the uncertainty of certain players and in the past and now, he's always had a smile on his face. Life gets hard; it doesn't really beat him up. Great character person, and a person like that is, always smiling, always enjoying life. You appreciate people like that, not just on the basketball court, off also.
That's a fact. Pat Bev is going to have a huge impact on Tyrese Maxey. I'm telling you right now, he's going to have a huge impact.
Pat, right here.
Cass.
Yeah, you're such a big presence, in the league, and any team that you're on, you make an impact.
I appreciate you noticing that.
And given that you've been, last 5 years, been on a different team each year, what's been the biggest challenge for you to be a professional and go from team to team and have to?
No challenge for me. I played in 2nd Division Ukraine. I had to take the bus 21 hours. I'm still living the dream. 16 years in.
Oh man. Let's go.
It's a testament to my hard work. It's a testament to, the time I put in, the sacrifices from my family, sacrifices from, the vices that, us as humans like to do when, when we don't have to work. So I'm still putting in work. I'm still playing at a high level. I was fortunate to, take a team with the Bulls who, was having a horrible year, kind of turn that team around a little bit. Obviously, it made it okay for people wanting to play in Minnesota now. So I've done a lot for this league. I've done a lot for different teams and different organizations, and my bag is always packed. So that's my mindset. And no matter where I go, you got to be a pro. You got to come in early. You got to stay late. That's always been my mindset, and that's probably the reason why I've been sticking around so long. I've been fortunate.
Pat Bev, man,
D'Anthony.
He has a mental impact on his teams.
D'Anthony, Melton, and Jaden Springer, a couple young guards here who hang their hat on defense. What have you made of those guys, and where do you think they can grow?
Like I said, it's the same game. I'm not here trying to reinvent anything. I've been fortunate to be here. The last month and a half with the guys. My biggest thing is about IQ of the game of basketball, knowing you're defending, knowing who's setting the pick and roll. Once you kind of, understand that, you can kind of, dibble in between, how you want to be effective on the game on the defensive side. So I think it's more the knowledge than anything.
Hey, Pat.
Bev's going to have a huge
you
impact
mentioned Nick Nurse
on
being a big
Maxey.
factor in why you wanted to come here. What was it? What were your interactions with him before you got here, and what was it about him and his style that made you want to play here?
He goes back with Nick Nurse, man. Long time.
So a lot of people don't know when I left Arkansas early, I walked into an office. I met a young coach for the Iowa Energy. Me and my mom were interviewing coaches to see what my next step was after college, and it was Nick Nurse. I think I go overseas. I played, 4 years. I come back. I sign with the Rockets. I go to the G League. My coach is Nick Nurse. So we've been trying to, I've been trying to play for him. He's been trying to get me for a while now, and 12 years in this business. I've been fortunate. He's won a championship, and our lines cross again. So I'm very fortunate.
Thanks, Pat.
Dave, good to see you, baby.
Shout out to Pat Bev, man. And I know I keep saying it, but we got to go one more. One more. PJ Tucker, I thought he was skipping. He's here in attendance, man. There he is. First time we've seen him ever since he was at Harden's party and or that party with Harden, and he was posting the picture of James Harden in support of him. Let's hear what he has to say.
It's just, with the situation with James, just where do you sort of land on it? I know he's a close friend of yours, but just how do you sort of navigate this situation personally and as a team?
Yeah, that's my brother. No question. Everybody was questioning me. A social media post I made, that's me having my brother's back no matter what. Our relationship goes way beyond basketball and the years we spent together. So that aside, he has this ongoing thing, and it is what it is. At this point, it is what it is. Whatever management he decide and whatever happens, happens. But the rest of us have to come here, go to work, and get ready to play.
He sounds like he just woke up.
Supporting your teammate and your friend, does the situation that happened this summer, does that change your feelings about being here, being on this team at all, moving forward?
No, obviously I came here to play with James and Joe, obviously, rest of the guys. So it doesn't change anything. This is a business. You have to be a professional. Whatever happens, happens. But you control what you can control. Come to work, lace your sneakers, and play basketball, and that's it. Anything else that happens after that, that happens.
Got to step up, Tuck. Come on, man.
PJ, do you think this is something that could get resolved quickly?
That ain't for me to answer. I have no idea.
He goes back with both of them, man. Morey, Harden.
I hope they figure it out soon. If not, it's going to be what it's going to be.
Do you think we'll see James here?
I don't know. It's a good question, Keith. I have no idea. He
doesn't know what to say,
he feels
man.
strongly about how he feels.
He doesn't know what to say.
And he's going to handle it accordingly how he feels.
PJ, so you've been in this East for a minute now, just grinding. And I just wonder what you think about all the moves that got made in the last few days with Dame and with Giroux and all that, and how do you think it impacts the conference?
I mean, it's interesting. Adding Dame to the East for sure. Celtics moving some things around, getting Drew's big, but they lost a lot too. So, it's different ways to look at it. At the end of the day, it's going to be so much talk right now, beginning of the season. You know how it goes. It's always the movement and the hype of certain teams and surprise teams, and it's going to be a roller coaster ride for the first few months. So, just kind of get on board and work hard, try to build with your team and figure it out. But I think everybody in the East, in that top 8 to 10, think they got a shot at coming out of the East. So that's how it always is.
And do you think you guys lean into the experience, depth, strength, and numbers that you have with some of the vets that have come here?
Yeah, for sure, without a doubt. No matter what the situation, if you look at our roster and our team, didn't get as far as we wanted last year. Obviously, hard fought, but I feel like having a quarterback, Tyrese
right back, guys.
year.
We'll keep on listening. How about that? I think Reed's coming up next.
And everybody else
keep on listening for
their
a little
roles.
bit.
I think we'd be right there with anybody.
I'll be right back.
PJ, year 13. I'm not going to call you old because I'm not but how does the body feel? And what are your expectations of yourself this season?
The same as always. I don't change much. Just try to build each year. Try to take another step. This is my first year coming to season healthy in a few years, so I'm excited about that. But when you get older, you appreciate it each time coming back, like going through this whole motion again. Being the second oldest person in the NBA sounds crazy to me. But I feel like all the guys that are all the oldest are really young and can play a long time, and it's scary. Like the guys be able to see that over the years. Seeing guys go 22, 23, 24 years of playing basketball, it's pretty cool. So I'm still young at heart.
Your second year here in Philly, but now under a new head coach. So what have the conversations been like with Nick in terms of, what your role is going to be like this year?
Much changed with me, Cass. I'm going to do what I do. And yeah, just figure everybody out, figure this team out, and figure out how I can help everybody be their best. And that's really what I do, essentially. We got some new personalities, new guys here, a few new vets, guys that have been around. So it's kind of putting that all together and figuring out, just like every other year. It's always different, always little tweaks, but you always just try to build. So it's all about building.
Hey, PJ, right here. You crossed paths with Nick briefly in Toronto. He's a guy who's known as a unique coach. Do you agree with that? And what do you think is distinct about his style?
I couldn't hear the middle of your question.
What do you think is distinct about Nick's style? What do you think is unique about what he brings to the table?
I feel like he's very good at having different kind of energies around different teams. I think it's Toronto teams, if you look at him, I think he runs offense that benefits his players. He does things that benefits his team. It's not like having a system and just plugging people. I feel like he does what he can to make his team, his players look good and be successful. He's a player's coach. My short time with him and knowing him, just his personality and how much he cares about the guys and, really, really like pushing guys to be great. I think he's going to be great energy for this team for sure.
PJ, as
still
you
talking to
reflect
this
back
man.
to Game 6 and 7 of the Boston series, in your estimation, what do you think went wrong in terms of how those two games played out?
I don't do that. You can't. There's no way. You can't because it'll drive you crazy. Over years, you have so many games like that, Game 7s, Game 6. I can't watch them. I don't talk about them much because, especially now, with a new team, new people, last year's gone, new year, new team.
So PJ Tucker does not think about old games. Okay. Man, they talked to him for a while. He kind of just dodged it, to be honest, though. Kind of just dodged it. I want to see if Paul Reed's coming up next. He has to be. He's got to be the last one, right? There he is. B-ball Paul with the beard coming in. Okay. Shout out to my guy in the chat, Hogwatch, $2 super chat. 4ET today, Sixers in 5. Shout out to my guy, Hogwatch, man. One of the best out there doing it. Appreciate the support. Appreciate everybody being here, man. We are above 2 hours strong. Listening, live reacting to all the media day press conferences. A lot of questions, not a ton of answers, but a lot up in the air. At least a lot of these guys are staying confident, man.
How everybody doing today?
How you doing, Paul?
Estoy bien.
Yeah.
Paul, can you kind of describe what those few days were like when you had signed the offer sheet with Utah and then you're either going to Utah or you're staying in Philadelphia? I can imagine that's kind of a crazy few days for you. Can you, I guess, describe what that was like and what your reaction was when you found out that they were going to match?
No, it was crazy. I was actually going to Utah to check out the facility and stuff, and we was going back to Vegas because Summer League was going on, and I was just gonna go out there and be around the energy. And that's when I found out that the Sixers matched the offer, and I was just super excited and just super grateful that I was able to come back to the team that drafted me, and kind of made my heart warm a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, how has it been to work with Nick Nurse, the shooting coach?
I mean, it's been great. Since day one, he's been hands-on. First time I stepped in the gym, first time he seen me in the gym, he stepped on the court and was like, hey, you just start working with me since day one about ball placement, hand placement, some drills I can do, like that I can add to my routine to help. And I've been trying my best to buy in fully, and I think it's been helping a lot.
Paul Reed is a vibe, man.
Nick has talked about the idea of playing two bigs, and whether it's yourself and Joel, whether it's yourself and Mo. How do you view that, and just are you kind of anxious or excited to get a look at that and see what it's like to play with those two guys?
I'm extremely excited to play alongside of Joel or Mo. Just I'm excited to be on the court in general. But I honestly think that playing with two bigs is a great idea. Like if I play next to Joel, I take a lot of stress off him, make it a lot easier.
Paul Reed advocating to play next to Joel.
Go out there and get some rebounds. Just try to make the game easier for him. Help him get easier looks. Ultimately help the team get easier.
Yes or no in the chat. Should Paul Reed play next to Joel Embiid? Should he be the power forward next to Joel? Nick Nurse has already said he's going to experiment with it, but should they do it? Give me your thoughts in the chat.
It looks on the defensive end, take the load off him a little bit on that end as well. Blocking shots, getting rebounds, guarding, boxing out. Just it's a lot of little things that, as a big, I had to hold it down at the 5 position. It's a lot of work. And having 2 of us out there, I feel like we could dominate, to be honest.
Paul, obviously you got this new contract in the offseason. Any fun purchases? Anything you spend all that money on?
Low key, I had a couple purchases. I bought a house.
Yeah,
I got a new car.
Humble.
Nice. You talked about
he
Nick
is
Nurse
so
working with you
funny,
on your
man.
shooting, but also he's obviously known as a really good defensive coach, really creative. You're a guy that's long, active, all that stuff. How do you feel like your skill set and your abilities are going to translate to a Nick Nurse style defense?
I think that it's already translated. I feel like
let's go.
The type of my type of player, or the type of player I am, is the type of player that he's used to coaching. Long, athletic, versatile, can guard multiple positions. So I think the translation wouldn't be hard at all, or the translate wouldn't be hard at all to his coaching style. I think for me, I just have to lock in on the details, being disciplined and being consistent, and I think it's going to work out pretty well.
Paul's a dog, man. Took him a while to get to this point. Doc
Yes,
finally
sir.
played
Appreciate
him.
y'all.
And he dropped the yes, sir. Hold up. Run that back. Run that back.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
First one of the season?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to B-Ball Paul. I knew he'd come through, man. I knew he would come through. But, yeah, that's probably going to be the last one. They might have 1 or 2 more, but overall, in totality, very disappointed at the beginning of this presser series with Daryl Morey and, Joel Embiid said what he could. I feel like all the players are just, kind of trying to keep that positive vibe around the team. They know that this is a tumultuous situation. They know they've been in this same spot just a couple years ago. They can't really do much, right? It relies on Daryl Morey being competent to go out there and make a trade. And I just, even to start, I saw some of the comments earlier, people are saying, what do you expect Daryl Morey to say? I expect him to have a plan. Not this half in, half out BS where it's like, okay, we're going to build for 2024 and have cap space, but we're going to try to win this year. And we have Nick Nurse, and he's going to make the team better, but, we expect James Harden to be there for team activities. I mean, it's just so back and forth. It's so back and forth. I feel like, there's just no concrete deadline. Here we go. This is what we're doing. And it feels just like the Ben Simmons thing. But now Joel Embiid and the rest of the crew are a couple years older. Now they have all this time stockpiled up, and the opportunities are dwindling. There's not like there's a lot of opportunities. You heard Joel Embiid. He said he wants to win for the city of Philadelphia. But, man, I'm not going to sit here and be one of those people that say Daryl Morey hasn't done anything for the Sixers, et cetera, et cetera. But as of right now, over this last year, very questionable decisions. Letting some of these younger players go. Remember when they opened a roster spot last year? They opened a roster spot in training camp by cutting Isaiah Joe and Charles Bassey. They held that roster spot until February. They went into the season last year with an open roster spot, and they used it to sign Dwayne Dedmon. Dwayne Dedmon, of all people. That's what they used that roster spot on. So, it's just hard to have confidence, especially right now with how things are going. It sounds like these guys are, confident in Nick Nurse. It sounds like they want to win, but until you get either another co-star or another really good high-level player or a bundle of players or picks that you can use to go trade for that player, it's hard to have that top-level expectation, right? Because, Joel Embiid can joke around and say, oh, who said they surpassed us? And, they could talk about some of these other teams, The Celtics and the Bucks are in a tier of their own right now. They're in a tier of their own, and then it's the Sixers. And I just don't know how they can fill that gap unless they make a trade. Because I don't see any way that James Harden's coming back. We've seen this before. Guys are calling for him to come back. It just doesn't seem like he wants to. And I think training camp's going to be interesting. I think we're going to see, which players are vying for some of these final spots. But, we're talking about a team that has championship aspirations. And there's still an incomplete feeling to this team. And it's frustrating. And, a lot of people were saying to look at Jimmy Butler. What's going on with Jimmy Butler, man? What the heck is going on with him today? If you're a Sixers fan or a Miami Heat fan, this has been one of the worst off seasons ever. Here's Jimmy Butler at his media day. This is what happens when your organization doesn't trade for Damian Lillard and they leave him out in the cold. What is going on with this guy? I know last year he had the braids and he was, messing around or whatever. Is Jimmy okay? Is Jimmy okay? Bring him back to Philly, man. At this point, Miami should just give up. Send him back to Philly, and we'll give you whatever we can. I don't know if he's like messing around here. NBA page posted says Jimmy Butler takes the podium in style. I don't understand what's going on with this guy, man. He's down bad. He's down bad. That's what happens, I guess. That's what happens, I guess, when your team doesn't make any moves. But, yeah, man, at the end of the day, we'll have to wait and see what the Sixers do. We'll be keeping up to date with all the training camp coverage. We'll either be going live or dropping videos the next 4 days. The team will be in Colorado, so they will hop on a flight, and they will go to Colorado for training camp. I expect Nick Nurse to, hold his team in high standards. And, yeah, you got to hope for the best at this point, but there's still uncertainty. Who knows what's going to happen with James Harden? It would be great if he just showed up. It would be great if he just showed up and went to training camp and actually tried, but I just don't see a way that it is going to happen. So for now, we'll have to play wait and see mode. Daryl Morey hopefully will be on the phones trying to find something. I mean, again, he reiterates that it's either a star or a bundle of picks and players to go get a star. Right now, who's available, though? Other than a Zach LaVine maybe or a DeRozan. It doesn't seem, though, like Chicago is going to end up doing anything. Time is ticking. So we will see, man. But again, I appreciate everybody for being here. If you have not yet, drop a like on the stream. If you enjoyed it, be sure to check out the Sixers page. That's where all the interviews were at. Check out our partner of today's video, Mint Mobile. You can get premium wireless for as low as $15 per month. Shout out to all the channel members, guys. It's going to be a great year of content. We are back year 4, baby. We'll be covering the games. We'll be dropping news stuff, all of that and more. Stay up to date on all platforms, YouTube, Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. Let's keep it rocking and rolling as always. Sixers Media Day in the books. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Peace.